Defense made a motion for a mistrial. Prosecutor was up to some fuckery. Potentially damaging evidence, no basis for it. The judge specifically said, do not ask that question. Do not use that as evidence. She walked right down the path and asked the question. It may be over on Tuesday morning. Batman Bruce Wayne bitch snitch. Gerald Brooks, your constitution does not apply to me because I'm a sovereign citizen, a traveler on the land. I'm the Moorish Empire or whatever, bitch snitch. Because they're so fucking absurd. If you want to be a sovereign citizen, just do yourself a favor first. Go to YouTube here and bitch get every sovereign citizen that's ever been recorded. Find me one that won. God dang, you're right. Don't go down this. It's not the path. Don't have time for stupidity. Some clever dick on the internet didn't find the great loophole in all of the world's law. Bitch snitch. God dang, you're right. God dang, you're right. Traveler on the land. God dang, you're right. Moorish Empire. Traveler on the land. Bitch snitch. Moorish Empire. God dang, you're right. Traveler on the land. Bitch snitch. The late evening U.S. people.
Hi, everybody. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night, whoever you are, whatever you're doing, wherever you're doing it, whoever you're doing it with, however good it feels, and all that other stuff. I'm just glad you're doing it here with me, Legal Vices, on this little old channel that we call Legal Vices. Hi. Today is Thursday. It's our Throwback Thursday where we do retro trials. We are on part 5. We're starting our second month of the Hartung trial, the Florida v. Donald Hartung, a interesting gentleman who has been accused of triple murder. He's been accused of murdering his 2 half-brothers and his mother, and leaving their corpses locked in a sealed-up house in Florida at the end of July with no air conditioning and buried under piles and piles of blankets and clothes. It's been hailed, it's been reported, it's been alleged to be a witchcraft or ritualistic murder. But up to this point, when we're nearing the halfway point in this trial, there's been a 100% lack of witchcraft and or ritual murder. So, well, I'm as I said last week, I'm beginning to think that is going to be the defense's arguments. I have no idea because I haven't seen this. I have no idea how it's going to turn out, but it just sort of seems more and more like it's going to be the defense going, it wasn't my client, it was the witches. I don't know. We'll have to see how it goes. Sorry for being a few minutes late, but just literally 2 minutes before it was time to go on air, we had a power outage, and then it came instantly back on, but it was just enough to turn everything off. So I had to reset everything. Now, I don't know if it's just in my head or whatnot, but it sounds like I'm a little more tinny than usual. My lights are certainly bright. I need to turn down the lights here. Everything is wrong. Do I sound the same to you guys, or do I sound a little tinny? I sound a little tinny to myself, but it could just be me hallucinating, because I do that occasionally. All right, let's see. Group. We need to go to group 1. There we go. Ah, that's better. All right. Everybody seems to say that I sound normal. Okay. Well, all right. Must just be okay. I guess it was just my earphones, right? Because if I push my earphones in more, it sounds better. Alan says, "Hope your arm is better." It's getting better. The colors fade. It looks like it's not this dark anymore. It just looks this dark. It just sort of looks like I have some sort of stain on my hand, but it's getting better. Donna Ralph says, "Are you feeling those quakes going on over that way?" What quakes going on over this way? There was a 4.0 just off the coast of Korea last Sunday. Most people didn't feel it, but I'm sensitive to earthquakes, and me and a couple of friends I was with. It's interesting because me and 2 friends I was with felt it, but like there were 6 of us. 3 of us felt it and 3 of us didn't. But no, there's no other earthquake. Korea is not an earthquake country at all. Earthquakes are incredibly rare here. All right. Well, as I said, sorry for that delay. It was just for some reason there was a power outage. It is what it is. But we're here. We're back, and I thought we'd wear our. I couldn't decide what hat to wear, so I decided to go with the beater hat, with the sort of mysterious figure hat. It's either my garbage hat or it's the Undertaker hat, or just the mysterious dark stranger hat. I don't know. Hey, what's up, everybody? Hi. Megan Fox being silly. I wonder if you could feel the earthquake now that the stash is gone. No, that was yeah. Actually, the earthquake happened. Oh, it was the day before I burnt the stash off, so I don't know. No empirical data. Anywho, okay, here's YouTube asking me if I want to put ads in the middle of my stream. No, of course not. I don't want to put ads in the middle of my stream. All right, without further ado, let's go see what Florida man has to offer today. And again, this is this weird case that the guy's creepy just by sitting there quietly. The guy hasn't said a word. I mean, at least that we've heard. I'm sure he's emitted a few zombie moans and whatnot, but we'll have to see what happens today. I don't know if Ozzy's joining. Ozzy's still going on his stream, I think. So I don't know if he'll be joining us or not. He's got the invite. He usually does. It's entirely up to him. So, right. If he I was going to do a parody of the "if he dies, he dies" thing, but I was going to say if he comes, and that would be really, really, really weird to say. So I'm not going to say if he comes, he comes.
Phrasing.
So, he'll get here. All right, let's go with this, folks. This is day whatever. I think it's day 3 maybe of the trial, but it's day 5 for us. And this is Sarah Palin, the prosecutor. Nosferatu's on the stand. I think this is Daryl Dixon from The Walking Dead back there, isn't it? Like the dime store Daryl Dixon. I don't know. All right, here we go. Let's just shut up. New witness being called. I have to put all this information up here on the banner so that nobody's confused. This next witness is. Let me hit my editing button. This next witness we're going to be hearing from is Lawrence Mita of the crime scene unit. He is taking the stand. Takes the stand. Right. And we will save that and scroll it. All of your answers are here in the scroll bar. Let's go.
Morning.
Morning.
Can you state your full name, please?
Lawrence Mita.
Spell your last name for us.
Misita.
And Mr. Mita, where are you employed?
Escambia County Sheriff's Office.
What do you do for the sheriff's office?
I work with the crime scene unit.
And would you have the same or similar duties as Christine Rollins and Lindsay Eliopoulos?
Yes, ma'am.
How long have
And if you guys didn't see this last week and the week before, there was Hayden makes me laugh. Hayden just texted me. It is just let me freshen up. Don't make a big deal when I join. I don't want to interrupt the flow. Hayden doesn't want to interrupt the flow. Like what? What's he new around these parts? Interrupt the flow. That never happens here, he says while interrupting the flow. If you didn't see this last week and the week before, the two female crime scene detective, the crime scene lady and the forensics lady were amazing witnesses. They were crack at their job. They were absolutely the epitome of what you would hope investigators and forensics people would do, and how they would testify on the stand. Absolutely incredible witnesses. Dr. Bunsen Honeydew, I don't know. We'll have to see how this goes.
Have you been with the crime scene unit?
8.5 years.
So let me take you to
Strawberry Fields.
Monday, August 3rd, 2015.
Yes, ma'am.
Did you respond out to 4605 Deerfield Drive?
Yes, ma'am.
And approximately what time did you go out there?
8 a.m.
And when you got there, was the house secured?
Yes, ma'am, was.
And what does that mean?
There was a deputy stationed out front. The perimeter was surrounded with yellow crime scene tape, and the back door was also secured with red evidence.
Yeah, and let's hope they don't do what they did the first day of testimony, where it was just everybody was talking about how they were entering the back door. It got a little bit uncomfortable. And for those of you that are like wondering, so okay, all right, you're stretching with the innuendos here. Just because someone said entering the back door doesn't necessarily mean it has to be creepy or pervy. Well, the two the two I guess they were detectives or two officers that got to the scene, that entered the back door, no lie, were Mr. Enfinger and Mr. Coxwell. They kept talking about how Mr. Enfinger was going in the back door and how Mr. Coxwell was using the back entrance. It got really, really awkward for a while there. I don't ever want to hear that again, but then again, I really hope we do. No, I'm serious, Megan. They just kept talking about how Enfinger was entering the back door, and Coxwell was. It was bad. It was really, really bad. Just yeah.
This tape is what we used.
Okay. And did you go inside the house through the back door?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you
Was
look
Mr.
in
Enfinger
the
with
den
you?
area?
Yes, I did.
And what, if anything, did you find on August 3rd, 2015?
At the back of the room, there, like along the wall, there was a wooden lamp, and I discovered there to be some broken sharded glass, the panes that were part of the lamp, along with a bulb. And at the base of it, I found a copper jacketing. It's a projectile copper jacketing, and along with when I moved a few of the items on the floor, I found a projectile as well.
Did you take pictures?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you take pictures of Mr. Coxwell entering through the back door? And speaking of entering, never mind. Hi, Hayden. I'm just yeah.
You never take photos of Coxwell entering the back door. You always video.
Yeah. What about Mr. Enfinger? Can he just tickle the back door a little bit?
I'm gonna go get me a drink.
Too many jokes, so little time. I feel like my brain is just frozen.
I know. All right, let's get back to this. Hey, welcome, Aussie Overlord. Everybody needs to say hi to Hayden and go over to Aussie Overlord and subscribe to his channel. He does all kinds of cool stuff. And Mr. Stream Boy is streaming twice a day now, morning and evening. And yes, Mr. Enfinger is a real name, Megan Fox, as is Coxwell. I wish to God I was making it up, but nope. Those are two kids who learned to fight at a very young age. All right, let's get back at it here. It's going to be a long day.
Did you also collect a black fabric case from the kitchen area?
Yes, I did.
And do you remember about how long you were at the house that day?
I guess probably about 3 hours or so. I gotta check my notes.
Sure.
Yeah. No, it was quite a lot longer. 6 hours.
Okay.
6 hours.
And when you left the house, where did you go from Deerfield Drive?
Back to the Escambia County Sheriff's Office crime scene lab.
Okay. And did you go through the black fabric case that you took from the kitchen counter?
Yes, ma'am, I did.
And were photos taken of that case and its contents?
Yes, ma'am.
Wait, was that you, or have I got something playing by me by accident?
No, that was me.
Okay.
That was the Walking Dead theme.
You know, I never really watched it, so I wouldn't know.
Lame.
Raid Shadow Legends.
Yes, you may.
Mr. Mastita, I'm going to show you what had been previously marked as State's Exhibits 302 through 338. You'll just take a look at those and see if you recognize them.
That's the defendant. That's the defendant, Megan. Donald Hartung, who is allegedly been accused of murdering his two half-brothers and his mother in a witchcraft and or ritualistic manner. But they haven't talked about that yet.
Wait, you're 5 streams into that and I still haven't mentioned the witchcraft?
Yep.
Oh my god.
That's why I'm beginning to think it's part of the defense's case to say, oh no, it wasn't us, it was the witches. Because my client certainly does not look like a scary triple murderer who would do something in a witchcraft or ritualistic manner. Not my client.
No, he's a man of science. Haven't you seen him in Pet Sematary?
Yeah. I've seen him in Poltergeist 3. Ooh, this is exciting. Look at him checking his notes. I guess while he's checking his notes, we can talk about the like and subscribe poll. What is the defendant whispering to his lawyer? I want to suck your blood. Grr, grr, rah. Those are your choices. Hit the like and subscribe button. I have no idea why you would for this stream, but go ahead. We got 215 people here watching our
Do you
Thursday chill
recognize all of
stream.
those?
Yes, ma'am.
And do they fairly and accurately depict the items and the locations that are in those exhibits?
Yes, ma'am.
Judge, at this time, I move States 302 through 338 into evidence.
So admitted.
And permission to publish.
You may.
All right, Mr. Mastita, this is State's Exhibit number 302. If you'll just describe for the jurors what this photo shows.
This is in the den. And again,
Okay, the one thing we know two things about the house. If this is your first time watching this case, one, everybody's a big Alabama fan. Roll Tide, and they're all hoarders. And well, we guess we know 3 things. They're all hoarders. They like Alabama, and they're a very disparate family. One of the brothers apparently worked for Walmart, and the other one worked in an IT capacity for Homeland Security. So they're all over the damn map. And they were all over the house too when their bodies were found. And while we're paused here, Paul Farrell kicked us off with the first super chat of the night, ready for witchcraft murder trial while enjoying a proper biscuits and gravy on a midweek day off. Well, welcome to your day off. You deserve it. I'm sure you do. And I'm glad you're spending it with me. Thank you so much for kicking off the Super Chat Patrol. Let's go.
Along the back wall here, you can see the wooden lamp, and you can see like there's a bulb to the lamp. There's two bulbs there. One is broken.
Two balls.
It's on top of appears to be like a chessboard, wooden item.
And I know I'm asking you to kind of contort your body, but it's hard to hear.
Ooh.
'cause-
Sorry.
Sexy.
It's okay. Just get
Oh,
as
we're
close to
already
that
at the body
microphone as you
contortion.
can. Okay. This is States Exhibit number 303. What does this show?
This is a closer up photo of that wooden lamp. You can see the broken shards of glass from the panes that were once inside of the lamp.
States Exhibit 304.
Another close up of
Maybe it was an
to show
argument
the
because someone brought a
broken
Dallas
glass at the
Cowboys
base of
football into the
lamp.
house.
Yeah, we go.
305.
Once I removed the football, I was able to discover a
That's
projectile
that's
copper
code
jacketing
for
right there,
nuclear bomb. And
at the base of the lamp.
that's the nuclear code.
306.
The football.
Again, close up of that copper jacketing.
307.
Same thing.
308.
When I removed the it was like a 3-drawer piece of furniture. I moved that.
Was
out
it
of
a
the way,
schifferobe?
behind where the lamp was located? I
It
was
better be a
able to,
schifferobe.
locate a projectile.
309.
This is a close up of the projectile on the carpet floor,
310.
and this is the copper jacket in the back end of the copper jacket.
That's a caliper. Oh,
311.
And this is the side of the copper jacketing.
312.
Another side of the copper jacketing.
313.
This is the projectile as well.
All right. This is States 314. What does this show?
This is the fabric case that was
Mamasaurus Rex.
discovered
No,
on the countertop
no
in the kitchen.
spoilers. No spoilers
States
at all.
315.
I'm not reading
These
that.
are the contents of that fabric case.
316.
Same thing, the contents of the case, and this is the front side.
I read
Front
that
side
in the
was
news
faced
that it was
down.
a
No,
on
no
scene
spoilers.
on the countertop.
And you removed all of these items from inside this case, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
States 317.
This is a leather
you got a lot
checkbook
of-
cover.
318.
This is checkbook for Richard T. Smith.
319.
A close up of that checkbook.
Remember when we
320?
had checks?
On the front side of it, which was
I still
face
use them for the
down
moment.
on scene.
Do you know how hard it is to delete a comment when you purposely make your eyes go out of focus so you don't read it?
On the front side, which was not visible while on scene.
321.
It's a close up of that suspected blood,
322.
and the same thing.
Did you like change the lighting or something? Or like, why is it darker?
Baldwin
in
discharged a gun in the
321 than it is
house.
322?
Just using a flash.
States 323.
More suspected blood on the front side.
States 324.
Some more business cards that were in the contents of that fabric case.
325.
This is a banking card for Richard T. Smith that was, I believe, in the checkbook.
326.
And the backside of that card, which is signature of Richard T. Smith.
327.
Mail that was in the fabric case for Richard Smith.
It was
328?
allegedly not a
Same
spoiler.
thing.
For what name?
We'll
Richard
never
T. Smith.
know because it's gone now.
329.
This is, I guess, is a summary, a bank summary.
Okay,
for
and
This
what are
is
the
his
names?
tonsil twins
Richard T.
pregnancy
Smith
report.
and Vonsell Smith.
330.
The Sprint bill, it has Richard T. Smith on it.
331.
It's a Pen Air.
Oh, by the way, continuing with our Thursday monster themed pipe. This is my my raven pipe. This is
Nevermore.
this is my raven skull reverse calabash pipe that was custom made for me by a wonderful dude in Texas. Downey Pipes is the guy's name. Yeah, so that's the pipe we've got today. The Nevermore. Let's go. Oh, super chat. That's why I stopped this. Island with the $2. Don't forget the dismembered goose. Just hashtag justice for goose. Yes, that's right. There's apparently a dismembered ceramic goose that bits and pieces of the dismembered ceramic goose were found in garbages throughout the house. Rip goose.
It's a lot of effort to go to just over a goose as well.
He was such a good wingman. Top Gun reference there. Goose. Anybody? All right, let's go.
I guess summary of the count for Richard T. Smith.
332,
This is a savings plan for Richard T. Smith. That was again,
You can be
also
my
in the fabric
wingman.
case.
333,
Gulf Power bill for Richard Arlene Smith.
334,
And go,
No,
Oh my
Gulf
God.
Power bill for,
I've been there, done that. I
Richard
was just
Arlene
leaving
Smith.
that on the ledge on that one.
335,
It was funnier
They
that
had
way.
some names on the Wells Fargo account for Richard T. Smith.
But we do
John
get to
Will
see his
Smith,
telephone
John
bill,
W.
the,
Smith,
the
sorry,
deceased telephone
and Von Seal
bills, and
Smith.
bank statements. How exciting is
336,
this?
And Pennsylvania News Journal. He's article mail for Richard A. Smith.
337,
I believe this is the Emerald Coast Utilities for Richard A. Smith.
and 338.
And Florida Blue Cross Blue Shield article mail for Richard T. Smith.
Did you see anything in that fabric case that had Donald Hartung's name on it?
No, ma'am.
Because he doesn't live there. Why the intercourse would his name be there?
Now, you swabbed some items and then collected items as well. Is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Did you do a presumptive blood test on the front of that bag?
Well, see, Mamasaurus Rex says, I was being funny. If there is a high priestess in trial, I will die thinking I might be a witch myself. Well, see, that is the one thing I know about this trial, which is the one reason I deleted your comment without reading it. And like, seriously, I'm like unfocusing my eyes trying to delete it. It was really difficult. The one thing I do know is that there is somebody at some point in this trial calls a Wiccan high priest as a witness. I don't know if it's the defense or the prosecution, but I do know that somebody calls a Wiccan high priest to the stand. So, you know, if you might be a witch. So there you go. Ike's been a member for 10 months. What's up, Ike? I'm starting to think the goose was used as an offering in the alleged ritual. Yeah. The ceramic goose. But Goose wasn't a wingman. True. He was. Would it be wrong if I said he was Tom Cruise's backseat buddy? Is that improper to say?
It depends whether or not you're conflating Scientology with witchcraft.
I'm just commenting on Tom Cruise's alleged homosexuality.
Ah, gotcha.
Yes, his backseat buddy.
No, I think that's Coxwell that's going to be involved in that.
Yeah. All right. Anyway, you're correct.
That black
Let's get on with Fat Putin's testimony here.
fabric case.
Yes, ma'am, I did.
And what was your result?
It was positive.
And then did you swab that suspected area on the front of the case?
Yes, ma'am, I did.
Did you also swab the checkbook that was inside the fabric case?
Yes, I did.
Did you swab
covering.
Mr.
The leather
Enfinger?
covering?
Did you swap the back door?
And were those swabs sealed and turned into evidence?
Yes, ma'am, they were.
The
Did Mr.
actual
Enfinger
case,
swab the back
the
door?
mail, the checkbook inside of the case, were those all collected and turned into evidence?
Yes, they were.
Okay, and we need to read those into the record. The Swiss Army fabric case itself, is that Sheriff's Office Exhibit number 145?
Yes, ma'am, it is.
Are the mail pieces and the Kleenex pack from the fabric case Sheriff's Office Exhibit number 146?
Yes, ma'am.
The checkbook with miscellaneous papers, is that Sheriff's Office Exhibit 147?
Yes, ma'am.
The bank card
Yep.
that had Richard Smith's name on it.
The
is
tonsil
that
twin
Sheriff's
ghosts
Office
are
number
back again.
148?
Yes, ma'am.
Yoda's freaking
The
out.
swabs that you took from the Swiss Army fabric case on the exterior, is that Sheriff's Office Exhibit 153?
Yes, ma'am.
The suspected blood on the front of that case that you swabbed, is that Sheriff's Office Exhibit 154?
Yes, ma'am.
And the swabs that you took, I think you said from the leather covering of the checkbook, are those Sheriff's Office Exhibit number 155?
Yes, ma'am.
Now, did you also collect the bullet and the bullet jacket that you found in the den?
Yes, ma'am.
And were those items turned into evidence?
Yes, they were.
Let me show you what have been previously marked as State's Exhibit 339 and 340. Let's take a look at those and see if you recognize them.
Geez, Mrs. K. Grift, you're being mean there with the. I know you did do it on purpose. That's why I'm teasing you. All right. Well, he's reaching into his very loud envelope. Where are we at here? Adara the Wholesome, new sound for defended. Nosy zombie Sam noise.
Yes, ma'am.
And DCV Titan, but Goose wasn't the wingman. Correct, because we already went over that.
Projectile. State's Exhibit 339.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and is 340 the jacketing?
Yes, ma'am, it is.
And are those items that you collected from the Deerfield Drive residence?
Yes, they
on-
are. Yes, they are.
Judge, at this time, I move States 339 and 340 in evidence.
The DCV Titan, he stabbed it
Now,
all right. Chim
While you
chim
were at the
charoo.
scene, was a casing, like a firearm
Thank you.
casing ever located?
No, ma'am, they weren't.
And do you know what a casing is?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, do you have familiarity with firearms?
Some,
Do you have familiarity? I don't know. Do you?
yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
What is a casing?
Casing is basically the housing of the contents and the parts of a full bullet or cartridge.
Okay. When a gun is fired, is that the part that kicks out?
Yes.
Kicks out. Is that the part that most people
Now,
have
later
no
that
clue
same
what it
day,
really
on
is?
Monday,
Yes.
August 3rd, did you respond somewhere else?
Yes, I believe it was 6730 Klondike.
Okay, and was that the residence of Mr. Donald?
Klondike
Hartung?
bars.
Yes, ma'am.
And were you there for a search warrant?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Were photos taken inside and outside of Mr. Hartung's home?
Yes, they were.
Okay, and can you describe
Yes,
just the
Nosferatu.
basic layout of Mr. Hartung's home for the jury?
It was a smaller home, two bedrooms, one bathroom. When you enter through the front door, there's you enter right into the living room. And
I am
off of the living
Dracula.
room to the back side of it is the kitchen and dining area. To the left, I believe it's you're not sure west or east, but off of the living room,
did the
there's a
room just
small
suddenly
hallway
go
that leads to the
broader?
two bedrooms and one bathroom.
Stop looking at me. This is very interesting. Nick Starro says, "Why is Mikhail Gorbachev on the stand, and where is his birthmark?" I've been calling him Fat Putin. So we're in the same area of the earth. We're in the same country, just different people.
Putin, Gorbachev's love child, maybe?
Ew.
Really? We have N finger on the back door, and that's what you're going ooh about?
Well, that's how he came. Anyway, Tammy Fayette, member for 6 months. Whoa, 6 months in Vice Squad. I must now be proficient in the law, tomfoolery, and shenanigans. Well, mostly just tomfoolery and shenanigans, but there shall be fog. We nicknamed my friend's cat today Chubber the Hut. Okay. All right, I need women to tell me, does burgundy go with black? I would say no, but I'm fashion void. But it just doesn't seem like it goes together.
Mr. Messina, I'm going to show you what had been previously marked at States 341.
Even if it does, the VPL's a bad thing in court as well.
You were
should've known that.
extraordinarily quiet.
Wait, what?
You were very, very quiet.
Huh. Strange. No idea why.
Here, now you're okay. Well, I know black is supposed to go with everything, but the way it's put together, it just makes me like, I don't see one person. I see like a bottom and then I see a top. I can't like focus on the whole being because my eyes either go up or down. They don't just take in the whole picture.
Yes, ma'am.
Do you recognize states 341 through 360?
Yes, ma'am.
And were those photos taken at Mr. Hartung's house on August 3rd, 2015?
Yes, ma'am, they were.
Do they fairly and accurately depict the items and locations that are in those exhibits?
Yes, they do.
Judge, at this time, I'd move states 341 through 360 into evidence.
All right.
So admitted.
And Commissioner.
So they found bullets and casings at the scene. That
All right,
would be
Mr.
just about
Messina,
right
I'm
for a murder
showing-
trial.
States exhibit number 341, if you will describe what this shows.
This is the front of the residence.
States 342,
This is the back side of the residence.
343,
This is a view from the open front door leading into the living room.
344,
This is on a shelving unit directly across from the front door. There's a shelf with you have a piece of paper with some numerics on it. ID for Mr. Hartung.
Pentagrams,
sorry, this is 345,
This is a close up
dead
of those
kittens,
numbers.
few newts.
346,
This is the living room area.
Okay, this is very interesting.
347.
Notice how impeccably clean and organized and well put together his house is compared with the hoarders that his two half brothers and mothers were. I find that really fascinating from a psychological level.
I can understand that. The fact that it's almost like to a neurotic level, whereas maybe that developed because he got sick of living in squalor.
I mean, I bet looking at this picture and seeing that lampshade is just slightly tilted is probably driving him up the wall.
Mm.
Because this is, I don't know, it's just fascinating. Empty walls, impeccably clean house as compared to Hoarder Town, USA that they were living in. I'd like to get into the psychology of that. So I hope they put on some psychology experts to say he murdered out of just hate to go because he had to go cook dinner every Tuesday night at Hoarder Town, USA or something like that. Yes,
no
Heather
rake in
Sparrow
the
noticed
living room?
there's no rake in the living room. Yes, that is true. There was a rake in the living room for some reason of the murder house. So,
Again, in a different angle of the living room area.
348,
This is the dining kitchen.
Aw,
kitchen
little
area. You
boxer
can see
puppy.
there's a dog that was present.
349.
Another
This is
photo of
fascinating
the
to me.
kitchen.
Was this a hammer?
there's
up
not
here?
a
Yes, ma'am, it
thing
was.
out of place.
350,
Inside the garbage.
All right.
351,
This is
Oh, shit.
the two rooms that were
Let's-
present. This is the only designated bedroom. Present. This is the only. This is the dining kitchen.
Gotta go back to see
kitchen
what's
area.
in the
You can see
garbage.
there's a dog that was present.
349.
Another photo of the kitchen.
Was this a hammer up here?
Yes, ma'am, it was.
Oh, there's a hammer in the kitchen. All right. Let's let me big in this to see. It's a bunch of torn up coupons. Wow, remember when we had phone books? All right, so he murdered some coupons. We know that.
350,
Inside the garbage.
351,
This is the two rooms that were present. This is the only designated bedroom that was there.
352,
This is the bathroom,
353,
and this is the other room.
He's got
that was-
folding
that was
church
present.
chairs.
354,
It's a table in the corner.
Okay, there we
We're all looking at the candles, the bell, the black velvet, the feathers going, all right, here we go. Okay.
Are we able to embiggen that screen a little bit?
I doubt it, but I'm going to, I know it just does the underbar. But we can, let's do this. We can do that. Let's see what we're looking at here. We got some feathers. We have a rock. We'll call that just a paperweight. We'll be generous. A bell, crystals, like bunches of crystals, an incense burner, lots of candles, some icons, and holy shit, that's a pentagram there.
Yep, and you've got a wand at the bottom right,
Yeah.
bottom
Yeah.
left next to the two glasses.
Yeah, and it looks like that's either an incense like stick or like a holy water dispenser. I don't know. You Catholics can tell me. I'm sure there's a the priest's holy water dispenser that looks that looks something vaguely like this.
The power of Christ compels you.
We got that up there in the corner here. All right, that's looking witchcrafty to me.
What's it got in terms of?
Right.
I'm gonna have to open up GIMP and zoom in so I can get a better look at a few things. But yeah, we've certainly got our first taste of it. Like that is an impeccably well kept altar as well.
It is. And again, so just to go through this, we've got some feathers, a rock on top of something with like a wandish looking thing there, some glasses, a bell, some crystals. We've got an incense pot, more candles, incense holder here, I guess. This is what appears to be crystals in a black velvet cloth or bag. Some icons up here, more glasses, and a pentagram. Looks like it could be a book with a pentagram on the cover and a
That'd be the spell book.
Could be a holy water dispenser thing. Yep, that's looking pretty damn witchcrafty to me. Let's they just sort of seem to gloss over it.
Which state's this in?
Oh shit, Florida, of course.
Okay.
Where else would it be?
So close up of those numbers.
Hang on.
346,
This is the living room area.
How do we get back here? I effed it up. That's what I did.
347,
Present, this is the only designated bedroom that was there.
Did we see this already? Okay.
352.
Oh god, we went way
This
back.
is the bathroom.
All right, we'll just let it play so I don't screw it up more.
353.
And this is the other room that was present.
354,
Oculus
There's
Reparia.
a
Okay.
table in the corner of the room that had some various items on it, candles and
Oh,
That's
if
a
only I would have
much better
waited. We
picture.
would have seen a better picture. Yeah. Pentagrams with runes. Yeah, that's looking pretty. Oh, is that a demon statue up there?
No, it won't be. That will
Oh, the-
be. Oh, actually, that might be.
It looks like it's got long goat horns, and it looks like it's got like a halo, and he's a muscular dude with his arms folded in his lap. That's I believe that's our goat god. I believe that is Baphomet. Yes, Tammy Fayette. It looks very Baphomet-y. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, and that's like an Osiris. Looks like an Osiris thing here on the top of his little wand, like the Eye of Osiris here. Okay. No, that's not a D&D monster manual, but below it. This is the D&D monster. Oh, you can't see it because I don't have the screen on. Yeah. This is the D&D monster manual cover. Weirdly enough. But all right. Yep. Okay. That's looking very witchcrafty to me. Okay, then. Right. So I guess the it wasn't me, the witches did it is not going to be the defense.
Yeah, no, I think we can fairly well say that.
355.
Just the other side of that table with the figurines and
Can you speak
books.
up, please?
Oh, sorry. This is the
Wow.
other side of the table with candles and other figurines, books present.
Okay. 3, and is that the table that they were just looking at on the left side of this picture?
Yes, ma'am, it was.
Okay.
This guy likes
This is
chairs. He lives
356.
alone and has like 10
This is
chairs
another,
so far.
the other angle of the corner of the room, and you can see.
Oops, I'm sorry.
Okay, and you can see the
Got to have somewhere for entities
you can
to
see the
sit.
table from the previous picture. Another table with
Pazuzu and
candles
Iris
and a figurine and books.
and
on it
Isis
present.
says,
And do you know what these
says the
things are?
princess.
Do you
Could
know?
be.
A closer look.
Could be Pazuzu, but
one-
it looked more
this one here,
Baphomet-y to me.
It appeared to be some sort of necklace,
Okay.
and the one on here
But if it's
appears to
Isis, it
consistent
could be
with
Pazuzu.
like,
You just keep it in
braid,
Egypt.
a hair braid.
Mesopotamia.
357.
There was two area rugs.
God, look at the symmetry in this thing. This
Mhm.
is wild. This is some like oh he's got a broomstick. Holy shit, he is a witch. Burn him. He's got a broomstick. It's for his local witches Quidditch match, I guess. He doesn't have a rake in his living room, but the witch has got a fucking broomstick next to his altar. Oh no.
I'd just like to say to any Wiccans that actually are watching, I'm sorry.
Oh no. Well, we don't know that he's Wiccan. We just know that a Wiccan high priest is going to testify at some point. I do not own a broomstick. I own a Dyson. A cordless Dyson.
In the center of the room, facing east and west.
That is just so
and then you have
OCD
you have a
level
dresser with, again,
organization.
on top, you have candles and a couple figurines.
358.
Oh, well, that
This
helps
is
your
in one
case
corner.
right there,
You
doesn't
can
it?
see there's a Ouija board.
Sweet baby Jesus, literally. Holy God. Yeah. That ain't
Okay, so
helpful.
then we've got an incense burner, the Ouija board, and what's it?
All right,
Witch's Tarot.
that's the Witch's Tarot book, a flashlight, a Ouija board, an owl. Of course, owls are also associated with. And you remember his mother had lots of owls in her house. He's got 3 candles. Of course, 3 is a very important number in both in Christianity and in witchcraft, and the incense burner. Goodbye. Wow. Yeah. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, week 5 of this trial, we finally get to at least tangentially witchcrafty things. Oh Lord. I shoot rope number 3 months says you're a murderer, Harry. Jim Schuler with the $2. Okay, get the duck. Let's weigh him. I'm not a witch. I'm not a witch. DCV Titan. So you're a witch that accepted modernity. Oh no.
This is the kind of thing that just tickles my balls.
Tammy Fayette. Don't burn me. I have loads of candles. Yes, but do you keep them? Do you keep 3 of them next to your Ouija board, the tarot, the witch tarot, and an incense burner next to the statue of Baphomet and your broomstick? Buddha Berry says, I've got luminol pentagrams still on my bingo card. Yeah, that'd be like, wouldn't that be great if like they just turned off the lights and like we talked about before, they just turned off the lights and turned on a black light and there was all these runes and shit all over the wall and the big pentagram in the middle of the floor, and that'd be awesome. That would be way cool. Oh my God. I have to admit, I was not expecting this. I don't know what I was expecting as far as witchcraft goes, but I just wasn't expecting like the deluxe, witchcraft for idiots, witchcraft for dummies set at home. The witchcraft home edition. I wasn't expecting that.
No, look, admittedly, the Ouija board's a little out of place here, but everything else, he knows what he's doing.
I Am the Princess continues to insist it's Pazuzu, not Baphomet. Well, 6 of one, half a dozen of the other. Pick your demon, All right.
And just like that, Jeff's dog's going to start barking again.
Yeah.
A few books, candles, and a few figurines as well.
359.
You have the dresser again with
broomstick,
the candles and figurines on top.
Please mention the broomstick.
360.
And this is in one of the drawers.
Well,
There we go. Let's see what this is. Good God, this guy's not messing around. Crystal decanters with God knows what inside of it. That is the complete book of witchcraft is what that's titled. And rope. Oh, that's good. Great. And that's he does have a Wiccan book here. This is a Wiccan book here on the left side. He's literally got Witchcraft for Dummies here, or like the Witchcraft Encyclopedia. He has a copy of the complete book of witchcraft in his drawer next to the rope. Whose picture is that in the bottom drawer? I hope that's his from high school or college. That'd be awesome. Either that or it's Greg Almond. I can't tell.
Yeah, that's another copy of the Witch's Tarot down there as well.
Yeah, in case you lose one, you got to have a backup.
Katie, that's exactly where my mind went to. That it's Aleister Crowley, or at least a relief of him. No, that looks too modern.
Aleister Crowley's high school graduation picture. Wow, I gotta admit, I was not expecting like complete. I was expecting the witchcraft to be a bunch of shit. You know, like, oh, you know, it's like a rumor, but no, this is the full on, you know, how to be a witch home deluxe edition. All right,
You've got the copper rod. It's got yeah. This is
that is a rope.
That is rope.
All right.
Looks like an edgy teenage girl.
Yes, as much witch stuff as an edgy teenager. Yeah. Yes, that is a drum on the desk, on top of the dresser. Yep. Or the chifforobe. Anyway, that's anyway. All right. Well, he's, you know, here we go. Damn.
You can see there's witchcraft books and Wicca books. There's a spool of rope here.
What a wizard, Harry.
Now, did you test areas of Mr. Hartung's home with Blue Star?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and what is Blue Star?
Blue Star, it's a forensic aid that we
Buddha
use
berry.
to test for the
Buddha
presence
berries.
of
Pentagram.
Stand by, Buddha berries. They're into the Blue Star solution. I have a feeling they're going to turn off the lights. Okay. OMG, please. Who was murdered? His two half brothers and his mother. No, in some spheres, men are wizards, not witches. But in like Wiccan and I just say modern witchcraft, male witches are still witches. If they break their oaths and go and do like dark magic and stuff, then they're called wizards. But male witches are still witches. Yeah, warlock, same thing.
Good girl, you're just trying to piss off everyone in the magical community, aren't you?
Yeah. The Gathering. Yeah.
presumptive presence of suspected blood.
I meant warlocks, not
that you can't
wizards.
see to the naked eye.
And were there any areas in
Witch
Mr. Hartung's
doctor.
home that, I guess,
Ooh,
fluoresced?
Yes, ma'am.
Where was that?
There is the area, those small area rugs. There is a small area right beside on the floor beside the area rugs, the top of the toilet seat, and there was two areas on the floor in the living room by the front door, and then there was
Oh, dude, they luminoled his toilet seat, and dude, so he didn't clean his toilet seat apparently. Yeah.
and then Mr. Hartung's shoes as well.
And where were the shoes?
The shoes were taken from him.
Did you swab each of those areas that you
Human-
just described
human,
for blood
like
or
piss,
DNA?
basically.
Other than the rugs and the shoes, the rest were swabbed for DNA.
Okay. Did you take the rugs and the shoes from the home and turn them into evidence?
Yes, ma'am, I did.
Did you collect the hammer from the microwave as well?
Yes, ma'am, I did.
Did you find any ammunition or firearms in Mr. Hartung's home?
Yes, there was in the TV stand shelf. There was a large box. There's a box of a large amount of 22 caliber ammunition.
Were there any
was,
silver
in the one
bullets?
corner shelving unit, there was a mug with five shotgun shells.
Okay. No firearms though.
No, ma'am.
Thank you. Those are all my questions.
Wow. Well,
Bolt
shit.
rounds, eye rounds. Yeah, that's what the end.
See a large box of fingernail clippings.
Officer Mita, the first
Diabetes.
involvement you had with this case was when you went to the Deerfield Drive home. Is that correct?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, sir.
George Bailey,
And
we'll
what
run you
day
out
was
of
that?
town. You've got until
I believe I
midnight.
went on the 31st, the first day that the incident was occurred. I went to aid.
And were you assisting Christine Rollins
Yes, and Lindsay Epilopoulos as well.
and Ms. Iliopoulos?
Yes.
Mr. Potter.
So there were 3 crime scene techs there. Is that right?
There could have been more present, but I helped them as they were the leads.
Okay. While you were there, did you observe anyone taking dusting for fingerprints?
Yes, sir.
Who was the
Okay, see this. We need to pause here to talk a little bit about the defense so far. The defense, he does look kind of like Michael Chiklis. I believe his name is Chilkus, though, isn't it? It's Michael Chilkus, I believe. Anyway,
No clue.
the guy that guy from my favorite show, The
That's
Shield. The Shield. Oh crap!
Oh yeah, he does look a bit like him. Yeah.
My mind went. They killed Lamb. Anyway, the defense doesn't seem to have a very good defense because all of their questions have been really, really weird and disjointed. They've all been very unhelpful to the defense and quite helpful to the prosecution. They're asking a lot of questions they don't know the answer to that are shut down with like, did you notice anybody taking fingerprints? Well, yeah, as a matter of fact, we did. And what they did to the crime scene, I mean the evidence collecting woman, that was just wrong. But anyway, let's see how they do with this witness because they've just been asking really, really dumb questions that just are unhelpful.
that?
Well, I did myself. I believe the others did as well, but I did myself.
Did you dust any of the thermostats?
Thermostats, I did not know.
Did you adjust the temperature on any of the thermostats?
I didn't personally know.
When you arrived at the
Yes, that
residence,
was a big line of questioning last week. Like they're saying, did you, because I believe it was one of the crime scenes. I believe it was the lady, the crime scene investigator, the lead investigator, that she said she turned down the thermostat. It's like, aha, you touched the thermostat. The crime scene has been tampered with. As if somehow we're gonna, she turned the temperature down in the sealed up house in Florida in July with the dead bodies, with the days and days old dead body smell coming from it. So therefore he's innocent. No, I don't think the jury's really gonna go, aha, the crime scene was tampered with because they turned the temperature down.
Yeah, you'd really hope not anyway.
Yeah.
what door did you go in?
The rear door.
Exactly. I'll go in the rear door.
And
I will go in the
was there
rear.
An officer there checking you in and out,
Yes. Say it.
I don't recall. There was many officers there.
but did you have to check in with anybody, or did you just walk in?
I didn't have to. I didn't make myself known that I'm here.
He was slipped in like a
And
ghost.
when you walked in, was the back door open?
Yes, when I came in.
Here we go again.
It was
Propped
spread
open?
wide open.
He
I
came
can't
in the
recall
back
if it was
door.
propped or
Great.
not.
He came in the gaping back door.
Now, in the bedroom of Richards,
Oh, he burped. Oh, gross.
was that where you
Just threw up in his
primarily
mouth.
did your
Ew.
crime scene investigative work, or were you all over the house?
I focused on the den on the 3rd of August. That's the day I focused on
Okay.
personally.
And that's where we found the broken lamp.
Yes, sir.
And the den's also where you found the projectile and the casing,
Copper jacketing. Yes.
copper jacketing, excuse me. Explain how the copper jacketing works with the projectile.
The copper jacketing encases the projectile and it's attached to the shell casing.
And when a bullet is expelled from the end of a firearm, does the jacketing go along with the projectile?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So you have two elements that are expelled from the barrel of a firearm. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
And you never found the casing.
No, sir.
And where did you find the case with all the contents in? Was that in Richard's room?
No,
Or was that in the den also?
it was in the kitchen.
That was in the kitchen?
Yes, sir.
And where in the kitchen?
It was on the countertop, direct when you come in the back door, basically immediately when you walk into the kitchen.
Okay.
On the countertop by the sink.
The photographs I have seen of the kitchen show numerous items all over the countertops.
Mhm.
Is that correct?
I believe so. Yeah.
And was it just among those items?
It was there's nothing on top of it or anything like that. But
Okay.
there was items, I guess, around it.
And you said that you found what you thought might be some blood on that case.
Yes, sir.
Did you use the blue star on that?
No, I did not.
What did you use?
It's a presumptive blood tested with use of phenolphthalein.
Okay. And do you know whose blood that was?
No, I do not.
Do you know if it was human blood?
I do not know.
So you don't know if it was human blood or animal blood.
Personally, no, I don't know.
It could have been.
And
It could have been either
you
one
don't
in
know
his
whose
house.
blood.
No.
Was there any indication that anybody had taken any checks out of that checkbook, ripped them out or torn them out or anything like that?
I couldn't tell if there was recently done or anything like that.
I called him Bunsen
Were all
Honeydew at the
the
beginning.
letters that were in that case opened?
I don't believe so.
So they were all
This is
sealed?
Dobby's blood.
I can't recall if they were all sealed or all sealed or all open.
So you don't have any knowledge as to whether Mr. Hartung, my client, ever saw any of that information?
I can't testify to whether he saw it or not.
Did you check those envelopes for fingerprints?
No, I was not directed to.
Did you check the contents of the envelopes for fingerprints?
I did not.
And when I say fingerprints, I'll also include DNA in that.
I did
What?
not, no.
How can you include DNA and fingerprints?
So there is nothing to establish that Mr. Hartung ever read those letters, the contents of the letters.
I can't specify whether he did or not.
I said there's nothing to establish that he did.
Not that I'm aware of.
And the bank card, was that ever processed for fingerprints
I didn't know. I
or
was not.
DNA?
Not at this time. Not by me. No.
When you do these seizures of evidence, you get it, then you turn it into evidence. Is that correct?
Correct.
Or letter to the investigators, hey, we think this is important. Maybe you might want to look at this or run DNA tests or fingerprints on this.
So sometimes it has been done.
Did you do that in this case?
I don't believe so. No.
Okay.
I mean, my supervisor was aware of what was what was in the case.
Okay, that's fine. I just wanted to know if you had done that.
No.
Are you aware if anybody did that?
No, I'm not aware.
Other than seizing or taking the photographs of the broken lamp and seizing the projectile and the jacketing and this black notebook, did you seize any other evidence at the Deerfield Drive residence?
Yes, I believe I seized a modem and a router as well.
Okay. And those were turned into evidence.
Yes,
Where's
there
the
are.
puzzle
I
box?
believe there's some other items if you want me to list them off.
Nice. That's a good
Sure.
reference right there.
I give
There's
a
a-
software if he knows what he's doing.
Glad trash bags in a box from the laundry room.
Did he have any sad trash bags?
You know, the Netgear wireless router, Cisco cable modem. There was a roll of paper towels from the kitchen, and there was a padlock from the back gate that I collected as well.
Seriously, the puzzle box. That was a good reference, man. Hellraiser is one of my
Where
favorite
did you
movies
get
of all
that?
time.
Was it on the back gate?
Yes,
Had it been forced open?
I can't recall at this time.
Did the back gate enclose that back door?
And close the back door.
Did you have to go through the back gate that had the padlock on it to get to the back door?
I don't know if there was any other avenues to get there or not.
Did you go through the gate to get to the back door?
I went through a gate, yes.
Is that where the padlock goes?
I can't recall. I was asked to turn it in
Oh, okay.
directly.
So you didn't collect it initially, or you did?
I didn't collect it from the gate itself. No.
Okay. After that, you went over to my client's residence.
My phone keeps trying to autocorrect to
Yes, it is.
Kegel vices.
Okay, was he present when you
The Kegel
arrived?
vices.
He was.
Ooh. Kegel
cooperative with
vice.
I didn't have any contact with him that I
Kegel
can recall.
Oh,
You
just,
look
who
happy
was
to
there?
see me.
There was several other investigators.
Starfish
You
of,
recall
anyway.
him?
There was Michael Milstead, Sergeant Jason Barnes, Sergeant Bjornson, who was my direct supervisor. There's Michelle Wirt was an investigator as well. I can't recall the other ones.
What about
Matt
Enfinger?
Enfinger was there
Yes.
as well.
There you go, Megan. Matt Enfinger was there. If you're still here,
And
Megan.
did they direct you on what items to seize, or did you do that on your own?
No, they directed me.
And who was directing you?
There was Noel Matt Enfinger, and then there was my sergeant.
Sergeant
Bjornson.
Bjornson?
Yeah. I'm not sure if it was a collective understanding, but I didn't make any decisions of what was collected.
Speaking of
So you
Smopo
were
Vienna,
acting at the
I've
direction
got his
of Robert
alien
Matt
face hugger
Enfinger,
pipe he made
Sergeant
me right
Bjornson.
here.
Yes.
Smopo Vienna made that for us. Well, and by us, I mean me.
And on the hammer,
Super heavy face hugger pipe.
did you do any testing on that to see if
Thank
there
you
was
for that
blood?
pipe,
I did
Smopo
not
Vienna.
at that time.
Did you determine whether on my client's shoes or on the toilet seat, in the area by the front door, on the area rugs, or otherwise on the floor, if any of the blood you found was human blood?
I'm not sure if it was or not.
Wrong that I'm
Did
still sitting here trying to
you
identify
seize
that
any
statue.
clothing from my client's residence?
What was that?
Never mind. Move on. Wasn't worth stopping for. Sorry.
Well, too late. I stopped. Say it again.
Oh, well, I just said, is it wrong that I'm still sitting here trying to identify that statue?
No,
Okay.
I say it's Baphomet. Others say that it is Pazuzu. So one of the
My
other.
money's on Sononis at this point. I think he went Celtic as opposed to anything else at this stage.
What? Well, he had the eye of he had that Osiris looking thing there. Anyway, maybe they'll talk more about it later.
No, I don't recall.
Did you seize the drains?
I did not.
How about, did you look into the washing machines?
I did not personally.
Did you look at his vehicle?
I wasn't directed to. No.
I Am the Princess maintains it's Pazuzu and Isis.
And I think I disagree, which we're
What
entitled
I
to do.
called the black notebook. Was that a Swiss Army fabric zipper case? Is that what that was?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Dang it! Now I have to get the Wizard of Oz. Are you a good
Did
witch
you
or a
get
bad witch?
DNA swabs from the cables and the modem and the router?
I did. Yes.
And from the, I guess there was a Netgear router and a Cisco modem.
Yes.
So you took DNA from that.
Yes, sir.
Do you know what the results of that DNA was?
No, sorry. I'm not aware of.
Were you directed to take those DNA swabs, or did you do those on your own?
I believe I was directed, but they wanted a process. So I processed them.
Now, the reason they don't know a lot of this, the trial was 5 years after the murder. The murder was 2015. The trial was 2020. Yes, Megan Fox. Hayden mentioned that to me, but in the private message, Harvey Weinstein's conviction has been overturned.
Does it fluoresce if it's
Just
not
like he
blood?
overturned those Hollywood interns.
It can it has,
Allegedly
it
now.
can fluoresce for other items as well.
Oh, that's
What
right.
were
Now we have to
those
go back to
items?
saying allegedly.
There's
Yep.
the blue star can fluoresce for different types of actually vegetables or cleaning products, stuff like that.
Thank you, sir. I have no further questions.
All right. Some redirect.
Mr. Messina, Mr. Griffith said that there was nothing to establish that Donald Hartung read the mail in that black case, correct?
Yes, you
You don't know
I
who read
do.
what, do you?
I do not.
Okay. And when you're collecting trash bags, paper towels from the scene, do you have any idea at that point if it's going to be relevant or not?
No, not all the time.
Okay, so are you just trying to take what you can in case it may be important?
Yes.
And Mr. Griffith asked you if you collected any clothing, any drains from the washing machines and such from Mr. Hartung's house. Do you remember that line of questioning?
Yes.
This search warrant was August 3rd of 2015, correct?
Yes.
This was 3 days after the bodies were found.
Yes.
Thank you.
You step down, sir.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Will you state your name, please?
Rachel Smith.
Ms. Smith, where are you employed?
I'm employed with the Florida Department of Law Enforcement at the Pensacola Regional Operations Center.
And what do you do for FDLE?
I'm a senior crime laboratory analyst in the latent print section.
And how long have you been a latent print examiner?
For over 13 years.
And can you tell the jurors your education and training?
I earned a bachelor's degree in forensic science from the University of Central Florida. I've completed the Florida Department of Law Enforcement Crime Laboratory Analyst Training Program, and I've
So
also
she's our
attended
fingerprint
various
expert,
external training courses throughout my career.
Have you identified a person by comparing known inked fingerprints to latent fingerprints?
Yes.
And approximately how many times?
Identifications probably in the thousands, the low thousands.
Have you testified in court as an expert before in your field?
Yes.
Approximately how many times?
Over 25.
What is a latent print?
If you look at the palm of your hand, you may notice there's actually raised areas of skin. This is known as friction-rich skin.
Can't see through the hair.
And it's only found on the undersides of the hands and the undersides of the feet. An impression of this friction-rich skin may be left behind on an object when it is touched through the transfer of a medium, also known as latent print residue. This medium can be made up of perspiration, oil, makeup, paint, basically any substance that can be on the surface of the friction-rich skin or on the surface of the object and then transfer to one or the other when you touch it.
And this is definitely not memorized. Definitely not. Nothing sounds rehearsed about that.
Latent means hidden or unseen, and the majority of latent prints need some type of development technique to make them visible.
And what is a known or an inked fingerprint?
A known or inked fingerprint, a known standard is a controlled recording of the friction-rich skin that is normally done with black ink on a white card or through digital capture.
I'd like to. What
Now,
is a
how are
fingerprint?
fingerprints
It's
compared
a fingerprint.
and
That's what it is.
identifications made?
I first look at the latent print. I look at all of the information that's present. The ridge flow, the ridges may come in on one side and flow out the other. They may arch up. They may form a pattern. So I look at the ridge flow of the latent print. I look at the ridge characteristics. The ridges some examples of ridge characteristics would be if a ridge runs and ends
Ruffles
abruptly,
potato
which is known
chips.
as a ridge ending, or sometimes the ridges will run and split into two separate ridges, which is known as a bifurcation. So I look at these ridge characteristics and their relationship to one another, as well as their, positioning in the latent print itself. I also look for any creases, any scars, any pores, any information that's present in that latent print. I observe that. I then look at the known standards, and I conduct a side-by-side comparison of the latent print to the known standards, and I look at all of the information that I observed in the latent print. I look for similar information in the known.
She's smiling. She really likes her fingerprint job. I like that. I like when people are passionate about their jobs.
Standard. If the information in the latent print and the known standard is found to be in agreement, then I could reach a conclusion of identification.
Are fingerprints specific to each individual?
Yes, they are.
And based on your training, study, and your experience, have you ever seen two people with the same fingerprints?
I have not.
Now, there's been testimony by a number of crime scene technicians in this case that have processed hangers, plastic bags, different areas of a crime scene, a trash can, contents of a trash can, and their results were negative. So is it possible to touch something and not leave a fingerprint?
It is.
Okay, and can you describe some of those factors that come into play?
There are multiple reasons. One big one would be if there was something impeding the ability to leave that print. So if there was a covering on the surface of the friction or skin, a glove or a piece of cloth, that type of thing, you would not be able to leave the print behind. The residue
Ooh,
that
it's
I
my
mentioned, that
spooky
medium that has to
witchcraft
be there to
bottle of
transfer.
Maker's
So
Mark.
if you wash your hands and your hands are very dry and clean, that residue may not be present to transfer to
Aiden, do you have any
the
residue
surface.
on your
So
hands?
a latent print may not be left behind. The surface itself
Plead the
also
fifth.
can play into come into play. If the surface is extremely
There's a
textured,
little bit of oil
it is
because it's
not a
around my
good
hand, I
surface
throw
to
my
leave a
hair.
latent print on. For instance, like a brick or an extremely textured piece of plastic. Also, fabric is not a good surface to leave a latent print on as well. Then there's also anything that's handled excessively. For instance, like a doorknob. If something that there's movement in the handling, then the movement is causing you may leave a print, but then you immediately wipe it away because you're leaving more smudges than a latent print.
Were you provided with evidence in State of Florida versus Donald Wayne Hartung?
I was.
And did you receive 2 pieces of a sink handle?
May I refer to my notes?
Please.
Yes, I did.
All right. And what did you do with the sink handle?
I visually examined the 2 pieces, and then I applied different development techniques to them in order to visualize any prints that may be present.
Okay. And what was your finding as to the 2 pieces of sink handle?
There were no latent prints of value for comparison.
Did you also receive a green colored wallet and a piece of floor trim?
Yes, I received a green and cream colored wallet, 1 quarter and 4 pennies, and a piece of floor trim.
Okay. And what did you do with the wallet and the floor trim?
Again, I visually
29
examined those
cents to his
items,
name.
and then I applied various development techniques to attempt to visualize any latent prints that may have been present.
And what was your finding?
No latent prints of value for comparison were noted or developed.
Did you receive a small Kleenex packet and a number of pieces of mail?
Yes, Boots.
Yes, I received a Kleenex package with tissues and 67 items of mail.
Okay. And what did you do with each of those items?
67
Again,
items
I
of
visually
mail.
examined
What?
each item and then applied development techniques to develop any latent prints that may have been present.
And what was your finding?
There
Oh.
were no latent prints
Oh,
of
he's-
value for comparison on those items.
Channeling Dr.
Did you receive an
Spiegel.
envelope, a check number 4006, and a deposit slip?
Yes,
Okay. And what was your what did you do with those items?
I visually examined them and I used multiple development techniques to develop any latent prints that may have been present.
Well, speaking of touching things, let's touch the super chats, shall we? Island with the $5. Dang it, Jeff, you picked a trial that's going to give me weird dreams. I can't drink this early. Pff, amateur. This is getting creepy. What have you done to us? Well, at least there's no werewolves yet.
Yes.
Werewolf.
Werewolf?
There. What? There, wolf. There, castle.
One of the greatest movies ever made. Berserker with the $5. I still think he looks way more like Lurch than a zombie. All right, I'll get a U-Rang thing. I'll get that for next week. We'll have this week is Dracula sound effect. We'll get some Addams Family Lurch sound effects for next week. Lowlands Angie, what's up, Lowlands Angie? Now I understand the face, mouth, and the dumb lawyer's questions. He's pro se magically puppeteering. Oh, geez. And Tammy Fagan. What's up, Tammy Fagan? Is the lack of evidence evidence? Ooh. Dun, dun, dun. Good question. No.
Okay, and what was your finding as to those items?
There were latent prints of value for comparison on the envelope, the check number 4006, and the deposit slip.
Now, I'm looking at your report dated June 6th of 2017. Did you receive known fingerprints of Donald Wayne Hartung Sr.?
Yes, I did.
And what was your finding as to Donald Hartung's prints with the latent prints on the envelope, check number 4006, and the deposit slip?
I compared Donald Wayne Hartung Sr.'s prints to the 2 fingerprints and 3 latent impressions from the envelope, check number 4006, and deposit slip, and the results were inconclusive due to insufficient standards. What this means is that the standards that were provided were poor quality and did not contain the necessary information for me to reach a conclusive result for that comparison.
All right. Did you receive known fingerprints for Richard Smith?
Hey, we need
Yes, I
to
did.
get like a
And
crow
what was
in
your
the What
finding
the
as to
Hales
Richard
trial.
Smith's prints with the latents on the envelope, check number 4006, and the deposit slip?
One latent fingerprint that was developed on the envelope was identified to the fingerprint standards of Richard Smith. The remaining latent fingerprint and 3 latent impressions from the envelope, check number 4006, and deposit slip were compared with the finger and palm print standards of Richard Smith, and the results were also inconclusive due to insufficient standards.
Now, do you decide which items of evidence to examine for fingerprints, or does someone else decide that for you?
They are submitted to the laboratory with the assignment already chosen.
So you don't go to the sheriff's office and pick
Kid in
and
the
choose
back's
which
got Nirvana
items
going
to
through his
look at?
headphones.
No.
Thank you, ma'am. Those are all my questions.
So, Ms. Smith, what you're telling us is that you couldn't compare anything to Mr. Hartung. Is that correct?
I compared them, but the results were inconclusive.
Thank you, ma'am.
That was actually good.
Yeah, he did exactly what he needed to.
That was actually the best cross-examination of the trial so far. That was solid. I like that. What do you think of the one question cross-examination, Aiden?
That's exactly what it needed to be. He didn't say any more than he needed to, and he didn't pull anything out of him any more than he needed to. It was a simple yes or no question, and it more or less did his best to invalidate the entire testimony she just gave him. So no, it was well done.
That was spot on. That was great. Now we've got David Flatt and Tammy Duncan are our next witnesses. But while I'm getting the next section ready, Hayden, tell us who you are. Tell us what we can do. Where can we find you, and how can we make you happy?
Fair enough, guys. Aussie Overlord on YouTube, Twitch, Rumble, Twitter, X, however we want to call it. I may soon be exclusively on Rumble if the Australian government gets their own way. For anyone that missed the show tonight, we our Prime Minister put out a thing today saying that he didn't want to be memed anymore. So what did I do? I grabbed every single meme of him that I could find and shoved it into a 1-minute 24 video and played it at both the start and the end of my show.
There you go.
Because I'm sorry, but if he wants to try and utilize a tragic attack here last weekend to silence what little free speech Australians have, I'm going to go down swinging. But in the meantime, guys, whilst I am still streaming, Law News and Laughter, where we look at basically the what the F style stories that deserve more attention. For example, the 52-year-old who has been found guilty on 13 charges of felony possession of a firearm for purchasing kits online. And he got woken up in the middle of the night by the ATF with a no-knock warrant. He's just been found guilty for 13 charges. And that one was interesting because during opening statements, the judge decided to interrupt the defense's opening statement and saying, "You are not allowed to refer to the Second Amendment in my courtroom. It does not exist here." Yeah. So that one's going to be interesting.
Okay.
So that's already going on appeal, and I've tried to bump that one up the line to some, shall we say, bigger streamers so that gets a little bit more attention. But the simple fact that anyone can think that they can get away with that is disgusting in my mind. So, but yeah.
Wow. Dang. All right. Fair enough. Hey, it's Chet. Chet's in the back. Hey, we have to bring up the video here so we can see Chet. Present. First, we have to stop that screen. Present this screen. Where are we at here? Share. Yeah, see, it's Chet from, what was that, Weird Science? Back there. Anyway.
I wish, Vince. I wish.
Right. Me, I'm Legal Vices. You know that because you're here watching me. 293 concurrent, 293 concurrent viewers, 235 likes. That's pretty darn good. Everybody smash that like button if you haven't already done that. Get us up to 300 likes. This is our smallest stream of the week. And this is our chill stream where we just sit and we have fun. We enjoy each other's company. We laugh about murder. We just have a good time. But hit that like button, hit the subscribe button, and take our like and subscribe poll. Let's see here. The like and subscribe poll so far has 256 votes. It's pretty close to the actual number of likes, so not many of you have cheated. What is the defendant whispering to his lawyer? I asked. 33% of you said he's saying, "I want to suck your blood." 16% of you say, "Grrr." 24% of you chose grrr. And 27% of you chose rah. So there we are. Hey, Moxie Dame, what's up? See you in Vegas a week from today. Oh, yeah, that'd be a good time to mention now. Anybody that happens to be going in Vegas on May 25th to 27th, let me know. Well, we can hook up somewhere and hang out. I'll be there. Flux will be there. Jess will be there. We're trying to get Anna, that Star Wars girl, to pop on over. Ari Jacob is going to be there. Tiffany Fong is probably going to come out and play. We're going to try to maybe do a Robert Barnes sighting. A Kim Blandino meeting maybe on the cards. We're going to have fun, just kind of hang out and do stuff. And everybody needs to give Ozzy like $4,000 immediately. So you can go.
That's one way of putting it. Yes, people, I am hoping to make it to Vegas. Simple fact of the matter is that I can't take it out of my personal accounts, and I cannot take it from it's not something that the office can subsidize. So yes, I have to grift my little heart out if I'm going to make it. I am currently $3,900 away.
It might be an ad hoc legal conference. I don't know.
Yeah, well, we'll see what happens. There will certainly be some drinking in the very near future.
Like,
pull it out of my pump. Yeah, I know, Aussie Tank. How do you think I feel?
like right now.
I'm gonna go get me a drink.
So he doesn't need $4,000. He just needs $3,900. Get on it, people. he needs me there. No, you're not, Alan. You're not. Don't come. Don't you come, Alan. All right. There we go. That's my little update here. Tomorrow, I have no idea what we're going to do. Tomorrow, probably just a general legal news chill stream. Because I just haven't had time to prepare. I've had a rough 2 weeks at the office. Rough 2 weeks. Yeah. Anywho, let's get back into this. We got a bit more time. We'll try to get through this entire thing here today. Not the entire trial, just this entire 37-minute video. It helps if we unmute it. There we go.
At the NAS Pensacola.
Okay. Do you work for the Department of Homeland Security?
Yes, yes, ma'am.
Are you nervous?
Just a little bit.
Okay. Just take a deep breath.
Don't worry, you're not on trial.
How long have you worked for DHS?
About 8 years now.
Hang on. What the hell?
And before that, before DHS?
Oh, okay. We did this last time. We had Richard Smith is one of the half brothers that was murdered. He works for Homeland Security, so they can't show his face. We figured that out last time. So yeah, this is Richard Smith, his coworker David Flatt. We can tell you what their names are. We just can't show you their face, for what that's worth. Yeah. So, all right, here's our little scroll across the bottom. This is victim Richard Smith's coworker, David Flatt of Homeland Security. Now, I do know that black and blue don't go together as colors because my mother would always yell at me when I wore black and blue. She was saying, "You look like a bruise. Go change your clothes." So that's how I learned that black and blue you're not supposed to wear together.
Where were you employed?
Department of Navy.
And before DHS, when you were with the Department of the Navy, did you work with Tammy Duncan and Richard Smith?
Yes.
Okay. And then did the three of you, I guess, kind of transition to DHS together?
Yep.
At DHS back in 2015, was Hal McCord your supervisor?
Yes.
And was he the supervisor of Richard Smith?
He wasn't a
Yes.
supervisor. He was
Now,
a mediocre visor.
Did you, Richard and Tammy, all do the same type of work?
Yep.
Okay. There's been testimony that you guys are like computer scientists, computer engineer type people.
Yep.
Okay.
Why is that funny?
I'm sorry. I'm not laughing at you.
What? It
There was
kind of
also
sounds like you were. Well, what's funny about being a computer guy? That was rude. I don't know. He doesn't even have a pocket protector. He's not that big of a nerd.
Testimony that Richard's GS level, does that make sense to you?
Yes.
Was a 14.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah,
and
Bob, that's
what is it?
where
Is that
I'm
just
at
a
this
pay
point.
grade or a pay level?
Yeah, that's our
What was that?
Oh, damn it. I thought I was close enough to the mic because the broadcast
Nope.
was showing it. I was just saying to King Bob, yes, that's where I'm pretty much at.
Which is where it scrolled past. I didn't see it.
It does not matter. Move on.
As a computer guy, I am offended. Has been there, done that.
our rank essentially.
Okay.
It's our but
Yes,
it's
the victim was GS-14, which is like the second to highest level. The GS-15 is the highest government employee level, and it's GS-14. What did we figure he was making? He was making what, 160,000 a year ish.
Damn.
Yeah, he's making bank.
all based on pay.
All right. And what is your GS level?
I'm a GS-14.
Same thing that Richard was?
Yep.
Okay. Now, how long did you know Richard Smith prior to his death in 2015?
I started working at the Department of Navy in 01. I knew Richard then. He was my team lead, and I knew him all the way up until his passing in 2015.
Were you and Richard friends at work?
Yes.
And how would you describe your relationship? In other words, did you feel like you were close? Did you feel like you were just acquaintances?
Felt we were very close.
Like, how close?
Other than you, who else was he close to?
Tammy.
Did you see Richard at work daily, assuming you both worked a normal schedule?
Yes.
And what were his normal days off?
We work Monday through Friday, so we get the weekends off.
Right. Did you and Richard and Tammy go to lunch?
Yep.
How often?
Pretty much every day. If we were in the office, and we would go to lunch together.
Did Richard carry a wallet that you saw?
Yes.
And did you see if he carried cash?
Yes.
Okay. And how much would you see if he like opened his wallet?
It'd be hundreds of dollars.
What if he opened his mouth?
And did you ever see him use a credit card, or what did he typically use?
He almost always used cash. If we ever had to stop and get gas, he'd walk in and use cash. Anytime at lunch, he'd always use cash. So I didn't see him swipe cards hardly ever.
Did you know where Richard would keep like his car keys and his wallet
Yeah.
on his person?
Yep.
Okay. Where?
Car keys were usually in his front pocket, and his wallet would be in his back pocket.
Did you and Richard socialize much outside of work?
Not too much.
And why was that?
Because he lived in a weird
We just
hoarder
both would
house,
go home to our families. I'd go home to mine. He would go home to his.
and we couldn't tell our wives about each other.
Had you ever been to Richard's home on Deerfield Drive prior to his death?
Nope.
Did he ever invite you over?
I don't think so.
Did Richard seem to have much of a personal life that you were aware of?
Not really.
Okay. What was his primary function outside of work?
To get
Taking care of
murdered.
his family.
And his family being?
His mother and his younger brother.
Now, had you ever met Richard's mother or brother, John?
I've met his mother once or twice, predominantly when his father passed. I went to the funeral and I met them there. And I met his brother a couple times as we were running errands at lunch or something. He'd have to go pick him up and do something. I saw him a couple times.
Okay. And when you say his brother, you're talking about John or Donald Hartung?
John, his little brother.
Yes, they were only
And
half brothers.
How would it come to be that he would pick his brother up and you were with him? Like, what were the circumstances?
It'd just be, hey, we need to go run and grab him because he'd either be getting off or he needed to go run him to somewhere. And Richard was the ride, so he'd go pick him up from work and take him wherever he needed to be and then pick him up later.
Do you know where John worked?
At Walmart.
The interactions that you had with John, what can you tell the jury about him?
Very mild-mannered, very shy.
And do you know if John had an issue from birth?
Yeah. John was born, had his umbilical cord wrapped around his neck. So he had some developmental issues. But if you talked to him for 5 minutes, you couldn't really tell.
I didn't know that.
But that was also, I think, why he was kind of shy.
From what you could tell, Mr. Flatt, did Richard and John seem close?
Yes.
They were brothers. They picked him up at work. I think they're probably close.
Did Richard talk much about his brother, Donald Hartung?
Not much.
And if he did, don't repeat what he said, but what seemed to be the relationship?
They didn't seem to be getting along.
Yes, Nosferatu.
Do you know what time Richard typically left on Tuesdays?
Tuesdays were usually when Donald will be at the house and he would have family with his mom and John, and Richard would stay late at work to kind of let them have time at the family, and then he would leave later in the evening.
Buy Buddha
Usually
berries.
be 5 or 6, or if not later,
Yeah.
before he would go home.
But Buddha berries, wait a minute. Buddha berries is leaving.
And
I was going
how
to do
did-
this after this. I was going to do this after this witness testified, but Buddha berries is here. Hayden, are you familiar with Jenny 10? I'll take that.
I
as a no.
recognize the name, but not specifically.
Okay. Well then, hang on here. Let's see. We need to do this. For some reason, this just struck me as amusing. Sorry, this has nothing to do with this trial. I'm just doing it because I thought it was funny and I wanted to show it to Hayden, and Buddha Berry is here too, and it tangentially has something to do with her because, it's me. Right. This isn't her. Hang on. This is her.
Oh, yes. Yep.
Face is Chinese, but my voice makes it sound like I start fights at pubs. Yeah, I think I'd be a great telemarketer for the pokies or a great spokesperson for the casino, because my voice attracts the bogans and my face attracts the high rollers. That was very nice. Shisha. Sometimes I like to imagine my voice and my face as different people. Like, my face would obviously be someone Oriental, and my voice would be someone who still uses the word Oriental. That my face
Anyway,
is Chinese.
wait, make it stop. I want to go away. Where'd I go? Where'd it go? I can't turn it off. I don't know where it went. Where did
It's just
where
gonna
did
be
the
playing
window
in your ear
go?
forever now.
You can't hear it, but I can.
That's why it's funny.
Oh, there it is. Phew. Buddhaberry says that's how I sound. I know I've heard you speak before. Yeah, I've heard you speak before. And all right, just before we get back in, we'll give one for the road, which I think is also hilarious. All right, anyway, she's my newest deep dive on the internet here.
Popular steep.
Melbourne is the city of standing. Let me explain. There's no seats available on the tram, so you stand. For good food, you stand in queues, you stand on scooters, you stand at protests. Obviously, you can't stand replacement buses. The point is, Melbourne is just a city where you stand. I mean, no wonder you jaywalk so much. I'd also want to get run over by a tram just so I can lie down. Melbourne is...
I don't know if
She's
that's true or
not
not.
wrong.
I don't know. I don't know if she's right or not, but I find it funny.
Oh my God, Burberries, that's hilarious.
But I was a coworker in an office. What? How did you have a coworker in another office not know you was Asian for 4 years?
Because I only spoke over the phone as opposed to meeting.
That's what I was going to say. I guess
That's
that's the only
funny.
thing that would make any sense whatsoever. And all right, I lied. I'm a big liar. Now that we're onto dispelling myths and things, there's one more myth that I think needs to be dispelled, and then I swear to God we'll get back into the trial because I'm just wasting everybody's time at this point. Hey.
Ooh, a massive queue. I bet it's for something amazing. What? It's for a croissant? Oh, what a cute coffee shop. What the hell? It's going to be a 3-hour wait? What do you mean there's no harbour? What do you mean there's no beach? What do you mean there's actually a nightlife? Oh my God, it is freezing. Why do they make this city into a grid? It's like they want extra wind. Did I miss some sort of memo? Why am I the only person not wearing a black puffer jacket? The tram seats don't move, so I have to sit backward. That's backward. Why is there so much construction everywhere? What are they building? More grids? Oh, if I see one more dickhead on a Lime scooter, I am flying back to Sydney.
I don't know. Is that accurate? Is that accurate?
That is accurate. So,
Okay.
Like the Melbourne CBD is the central business district is built in a very specific manner, so you can know exactly where you are going at any given time, whichever street you're on. Which means that everything is in a proper grid. That does have the downside of meaning that you get the wind whipping down Burke Street at like 30 miles an hour.
See, that's how the entire state of Utah is built, in a grid system, and it's the most amazing, like I say, for finding things. You live at 4th East and 3rd South. You go off Main and Center. You go 4 blocks south and 3 blocks east, and there you are. Everything's in a nice straight line. But it's Utah. It's wide open spaces. We don't really have business districts.
Fair enough.
But anywho, all right, let's get back to the case at hand here, so to speak. I just thought that was funny, and I wanted to share that before Buddhaberries left for reasons.
Jesus. Hope you contacted a lawyer about
that. Hey, Hayden. How you doing? Hayden said it was okay. All right, let's go.
Did Richard seem about going home on Tuesdays?
He was never in any kind of hurry. He was just as happy sitting at work. We'd sit and work on something late into the evening. That was our usual day where we'd schedule. If we had to do something at night, we would schedule it for Tuesdays so that he didn't have to go home.
Did he ever seem reluctant or I guess reluctant?
Yes, but
to go home on
Scottish people
Tuesdays?
can't say purple burglar
That's a
alarm.
good word for it.
And Germans can't say squirrel.
Now, when was the last time that you actually saw Richard Smith?
That would be when I left work on Tuesday afternoon.
Do you remember the date?
That's it.
Jill M with the Australian $5. Why wasn't
Yeah.
Jesus born in
July
Melbourne?
28th,
Couldn't find 3
2015.
wise men and a virgin. Uh-oh.
Now, did
It's
you
on.
did you go to lunch that day with Richard?
Yep.
And do you remember where you went?
We went to Sonny's that day.
Do you by any chance remember what Richard ate?
Richard would normally get the hamburger with fries from Sonny's.
How close of friends, and how often did he have the burger and fries for you to remember 5 years later what he ate for lunch? That's what we call predictable.
Yeah.
Tammy Fayette, the pipe has me looking forward to a Poe reading. Well, we'll probably do our Thanksgiving thing again with Poe and Lovecraft readings like we did last year. That was fun. And Tammy Fagan with $2. Is your Second Amendment the same as ours? That's for you, Hayden.
Oh, we don't have anything even remotely close. The closest thing that we have to a Bill of Rights is the Charter of Rights and Responsibilities here in Victoria, which is completely able to be overridden by a stroke of Parliament. So as much as I am lobbying and as much as I would love for us to have anything like that, no.
USA. But again, Australia has wonderful things like less crime, which is not necessarily related to carrying guns, because I firmly believe the Second Amendment.
Way to cover your ass on that one.
Yeah, because I happen to believe that the Second Amendment prevents even more crimes from happening in America.
You backtrack any faster than that, you're going to need a reversing sign.
I'm not backtracking. I'm explaining. That is literally the thing that I'm looking. I don't care about my family. I'm looking to go home to my guns. I get to see my guns for 2 weeks a year. My family, I can talk to them on the phone any fucking time I want.
And was he pretty routine in what he would eat when you guys went out?
Yeah, we all had our favorites wherever we went, and that was his there.
All right. Now, did you, Tammy, Richard, and I guess other DHS employees, did you guys use access cards to get in and out of the building?
Yes.
Okay, and where would you keep them or have them or wear them?
For the most part, almost all of us wear a lanyard around our neck, and then the badge would slide into a slot for it, and that would be how we'd gain access to the building, open doors, things of that nature.
Would it slide into the back door slot?
I'm going to show you, if you'll look behind you. This is State's Exhibit number 216 that's already been moved into evidence. Is that Richard's access card?
Yes.
Okay, and what is that little... What is this thing right here?
That is a RSA.
Good Lord, could he be a bigger Alabama fan? Got the Crimson Tide, neck thing. He's got the Roll Tide randomly placed on his snap, and the Alabama thing on the back of his card. I guess. Jeez.
And the whole thing's just covered in this crimson material that I assume must be in support of Alabama.
The Crimson Tide all over his badge. Nice one, Hayden. That was good. I like that. Just wish I would have thought of it. Damn it. Roll Tide. It makes me want to watch the scene from the elevator scene from The Shining.
That is what gets us into our systems. So we use that. It has a password in it, essentially, and that's what allows us to get access to our equipment. Okay. So our desktops and such.
Now, is an RSA token, is that unique to DHS?
No, it is a commercially available security thing.
I have one on my keys.
When you were not at work, were you supposed to wear those access cards?
No. That was one of our rules, DHS policies, if you're not at work, you don't show them off, you don't wear them, you tuck them in your shirt, you put them in your pocket.
He's a tucker.
But you don't wear them out.
Okay. Even if you ran, like what if you're at work and you ran to a grocery store or to the bank, what would you have to do?
We take them off. For me, I'd usually tuck them in down my shirt, or I'd tuck them in a pocket. But even going to lunch, when you're out of the building for 15, 20 minutes, they're not supposed to be visible.
Okay. And on your days off of work, is there any reason to wear those credentials?
No.
Other than Richard's keys and his wallet, did you see him carry any other type of personal property?
He usually carried like a little laptop sleeve.
And did you ever see what was inside of it?
He'd use it for like his checkbook, his bills, kind of all of that kind of stuff where he'd bring in, all right, I need to make out the bills of the month. this is for this money, for phone, water, whatever. He'd stack all the bills in it, bring it to work in the checkbook, and he'd sit and do the bills essentially.
Okay. And I'm going to show you State's Exhibit number 320, if you'll take a look at that. And is that the laptop sleeve that you're talking about?
Yes, it is.
Where did you see Richard typically have this?
He'd either bring it into the office, like, and set it on his desk and have it with him, or sometimes if he didn't need to bring it in the office, it'd be in like the car door.
Okay. And did you see him have this laptop sleeve on a regular basis?
Yeah, I'd see it more often than not.
Did Richard sometimes drive when you guys went to lunch?
Yes, he
And-
drove most of the time.
Okay. And would you see that case in his car?
Yeah.
Oh, she's putting on her Dracula
So
cape.
you last saw Richard on that Tuesday, 28th. And there's been testimony that he didn't show up on Wednesday, the 29th, correct?
Correct.
Oh, are we boring you, ma'am?
Now, did you know that he was scheduled to be off that day?
Yes.
Okay. Now, Thursday, there's been testimony that he did not show up for work. Was that usual or unusual for him not to show up?
Sometimes he would not be there if he had to take care of his family, or if they went to a doctor's appointment and they had to do a follow-up or
Yeah, so
something.
they believe they were murdered on
so
a
him
Tuesday
not
and they
being
were
there
found
was
on a
unusual,
Friday.
but not unheard of.
Would he typically, though, if he had an appointment or had somewhere to take his family, he would report that to
Yes.
somebody?
Yeah, we would know.
Okay.
That he was, oh, okay, you're not going to be here today or tomorrow. We would know.
Okay. And did you know of any reason that Richard should not have shown up for work on Thursday?
Yeah, he was murdered.
Did you at any point try calling or texting Richard?
Yes.
Okay. And did he ever respond to your phone calls or texts?
Hope not. Okay, good.
Was that usual or unusual?
Very unusual.
And what was your cell phone number back then, please?
My personal cell phone number is 850
Cough, 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 cough.
6121.
Cough, cough. Oh, it's probably not the same now, but cough, cough, cough. Good job, Court TV.
In the years that you worked with Richard, did you ever know him to just not show up for work without some explanation?
No.
Did Richard wear different clothes every day to work?
Yes.
Oh, see, this is an interesting thing. I shoot ropes. I'm sure many people don't know this. Wouldn't the date, the lunar phase, give it away if it was witch stuff? The murders happened on a blue moon, which is the second full moon of July of that year of 2015, which is apparently a significant day, and blue moons are significant in witchery. So there is that. Dun dun dun. Paul Farrell says, while in Vegas, you should look into gun ranges where you can rent machine guns. Oh, don't worry. We're there already. Don't worry about that. Plus, that's the first thing I do when I get to Utah. I stop at In-N-Out Burger on the way home from the airport, and the second thing I do is call my buddies and go, "Let's go shooting tomorrow." So that's we got our gun bases covered. The DCV Titan, is it a monthly? Oh, thank you very much for that super chat. Yeah.
It would explain the lanyard.
Yeah. Been there, done that. I promise not to call that number. I would imagine that it's a different number. Don't try it. Seriously, don't. Thank you so much for the super chats, gents.
Those are my questions. Thank you, Mr. Flatt.
Waddle.
Mr. Flatt. You said that Richard worked late on Tuesdays.
Yes, sir.
Did he pick John up after work during the week and took him home?
Not on Tuesdays, but
That's
on
because John didn't work on Tuesday.
correct.
So the other days he'd have to leave work to pick John up, take him home. Is that correct?
Correct.
What time did John get off?
4:30, 5, something like that.
Okay. So he would.
Of course, I
He
know where
didn't have to
Pahrump
pick
is.
John
Right
up
there in the middle of
Tuesday.
Nye County.
Do you ever work late?
On occasion.
Just nature of the job.
Yes, sir.
What is an RSA key?
That is the security appliance, the security thing.
The
that
key
helps
we
us
just
sign
spent
into our,
5 minutes talking about.
computers and stuff at work.
So you plug it in to, then I guess, put your password in.
It displays a random code that we use with the password to let us into the systems.
So you have to have your password along with that.
Yes, sir.
And then that gets you into your computers.
Yep.
Okay. And why can't you have your cards visible around your neck?
That's DHS policy.
Why?
I have to ask them.
Okay.
Because we're just told not, because the spies can copy them. I guess. Thank you, Ms. K. Griff, because the last thing this channel does is give legal advice. Oh, yeah, and then the third thing I do is I go get a nice crumble.
Did you ever meet Mr. Hartung, my client?
Possibly, I believe I met him at Richard's father's funeral.
So you met him along with their mother and John, is that
Yep.
correct? And so the whole family was there.
Yep.
So therefore
Did they
he's
all sit
innocent.
together at the funeral?
Yes.
Did you ever go to Richard's house?
Nope.
Did he ever come to your house?
Nope.
Would it be fair to say that you were work friends,
Yes.
not social friends?
What?
Sure.
Tell me he said social friends. I think I might have heard sexual friends, but I'm pretty sure he said social friends.
I'm hoping it's social.
That you were work friends,
Yes.
not social friends?
Yeah, no, second time around, I think you might be right.
See, I don't know if it's confirmation bias.
Yeah, maybe just put the captions on and let's find out.
That's what I'm doing. Engrishy. Let's go back a little bit so we can give a little bit of time to load. Eric K. People, Ms. K. Griff says special. Tammy Fayette says social. Lynn heard sexual too.
Richard's house.
But they all kind of they went through that very, very easily. I mean, just very quickly. So I'm yes, of course, Joe Choi. I have a one-track mind. Yeah. All right.
Nope.
Did he ever come to your house?
Nope.
Would it be fair to say that you were work friends,
Drum roll.
Yes.
Okay.
not social friends?
Social friends. Okay.
Sure.
Phew. All right. We'll give them the benefit of the doubt because that was just too easily like, yeah, sure. Not like,
And
what?
Did you ever meet Richard's mom outside of work? Did he ever, when you would pick John up, would he take him home or what?
No, he'd just like run him to a doctor's appointment and then he'd pick him up again after work. So it'd just be like me and John and Richard in the car.
Okay, so it's not like he would pick John up and drop him off at the house and you'd go in and say hi to Mrs. Smith or anything like that.
No, sir.
And I don't have anything further.
That was a pointless cross-examination. You regress. Redirect.
You said Richard stayed late on Tuesdays and seemed reluctant to go home, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
And he knew that his brother, Donald Hartung, was there.
Yep.
Did
Good redirect.
did Richard seem reluctant to go home any other days of the week?
No.
And did you know that John was also off on Wednesdays or no?
Yes.
You did. Okay.
Yeah. Tuesdays and Wednesdays were John's normal off days.
Okay. And did Richard seem reluctant to go home on Wednesdays?
No.
Okay. Thank you.
That was a good redirect. Now they've established through this witness that he was afraid to go home when the defendant was there. That was good. All right. I think the prosecution scored some points there.
Yeah.
Well, you got 15 more minutes in you.
Yeah.
You sound so thrilled to be here.
It is 1:10 in the morning. Give me a break.
That's why I asked if you had more time. We can shut this thing down right now, or we can go. Doggo snores.
They weren't all dog snores.
Can you hear the dog? I can barely hear the dog snore. I can barely hear him. All right. The next work friend.
You step down. Did you want to get the next witness in before or after lunch?
The defendant wants the next witness for lunch.
Okay, we'll go ahead and take our lunch break. We'll be in recess until about 1:30.
Oh,
Good afternoon.
Hi.
oh, it's a woman.
Are you nervous?
Yes.
Okay. Just take a deep breath, breathe. Okay. If you need a break, let us know. Will you state your full name for the record?
Tammy K. Duncan.
And Miss Duncan, where are you employed?
I'm employed at an Department of Homeland Security.
Oh dear. We have one of two options, Hayden, at this point.
What's that?
One, the camera focuses on the defendant and the prosecutor the entire time, or we get to look at the witness's tits for the next 20 minutes.
That will certainly make the next 20 minutes more palatable.
Well, it depends. It really depends, doesn't it? We haven't seen Exhibit Double D yet. So to speak. Lynn with the £2 super chat says it was worth waiting for, Jeff. Thank you so much, Lynn. I didn't thank Ben there, done that for the promise not to call the number. Thank you. And DCV Titan with the $5 Canadian. You hide your government ID because it makes you a target for disgruntled people and people with goals. Sounds reasonable.
Yeah.
I like his answer because my boss told me to. It's kind of like that one.
Okay,
tell
me this though.
What?
The redhead over her shoulder.
Yes. Lynette?
Close enough.
Zombie?
I was going to say Crypt Keeper's wife, hard smash or pass.
Well, that's a dumb question. I'm not going to tell you what my answer is. But I am going to say nerdy chick here is I kind of like nerdy chick here. I do kind of like nerdy chick. DCV Titan says, oh, and also to avoid the appearance that you are using your position to get preferable services. Yeah. Stolen Homeland IT valor.
Is that the judge from the OJ trial on the other side?
Oh yeah, I've been waiting to make a Judge Ito joke here for a while. I've been waiting for that. I just didn't.
Oh, sorry to ruin that one for you.
Oh no, I hadn't come up with anything yet. I've been too busy fixed on the DJ kid in the back corner. I'm assuming he's the sound guy, and he's like, "We need a youth here to work the equipment for us." Well,
what did they used to say? There was a when I worked for a company in Melbourne, when something went wrong with the computer, one of the partners used to say, "Send in the fetus. There's something wrong with the computer."
Show Bob's milk truck has arrived. Open cloth. All right, well, let's see which milkers that too. Let's see which route they go down here. But I kind of like nerdy chick. I like those glasses, like the nerdy chick with nerdy glasses. I like the uber nerd vibe.
And is that at Pensacola NAS?
Yes.
How long have you been with DHS?
We came in 2010, so
Thank you,
almost
Mickey.
10 years.
Oh, there we go. That answered that question.
Prior to DHS, did you work for the Department of the Navy with David Flatt?
Yes, I did.
And Richard Smith?
Yes.
Okay. And what do you do for DHS?
I'm a computer specialist.
I'm shocked.
And are those the same duties that you had back in July of 2015?
Yes.
It's a duty.
Did you know Richard Thomas Smith?
Yes.
And how long did he work for the government or civil service?
He would have had 25 years that August, so he's 1 month shy.
And in 2015, how would you describe your relationship with Richard? In other words, were you close? Were you not close? Were you acquaintances? How would you describe it?
He was my best friend.
She's nervous because she's testifying about the murder of her best friend.
Oh, let me back up.
I guess.
What is your GS level?
I'm a GS 14.
Okay. And that's the same as David Flatt and Richard?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. Did you and Richard see each other every day at work when you worked normal work hours?
Yes.
And after work, did you and Richard either talk on the phone or text? Did you have some sort of contact?
Yes, we usually always texted.
Okay. And was that daily or how often was that?
Usually daily, maybe not on Sundays, but most of the time it was every day.
And how often would you and Richard either talk or text in the evenings?
In the evenings, it could be anywhere from like 7 till about 10 or 11 at night.
Oh,
off and on.
So they were best friends. Hmm.
Before Richard's death, had you ever been to his home on Deerfield Drive?
No.
Did he ever invite you over?
No.
Okay. Did you and Richard hang out much outside of work?
We did a couple times.
Well, that doesn't sound much like, see, like your best friend is a dude you work with and you've never been to his house. You've hung out a couple of times since you worked together. IT people are nerds. They're weird.
Mm-hmm.
Says the guy who literally goes to work and comes home and streams and goes to sleep.
Hey, we're a different kind of nerd. That's not the point.
Yeah.
I've been more worried about your Cthulhu pipe, if I'm perfectly honest.
See, isn't this weird? This is like a weird thing, a weird confession. Like I'm so programmed to it now. I do it naturally. I was like checking AI. I was like counting fingers here. I'm so used to any picture I see now. The first thing I do is count fingers to see if it's AI or not. And I was literally
see that there were some guys suggesting that you get like a latex fake finger if you're going to commit a crime, so it looks like it's AI.
That's not legal advice, but it's funny. But yeah, I just caught myself literally counting her fingers. What a world.
Was there any particular reason why?
It was usually like on a holiday or something. We met for breakfast, and then we went to the Christmas party, like that. That Christmas before.
Any reason that you two didn't hang out more? Was he busy at home?
He was usually at home or having to do something with his family.
Did you and Richard go to lunch?
Yes.
How often?
Almost every day, unless one of us was off.
And would David Flatt typically be with you?
Yes.
What type of car did Richard have?
He had a Highlander.
There can be only one.
And do you know if it was older, newer?
I believe he'd gotten it a year before, so I believe it's a 2014.
Okay.
So it was 1 year old at the time.
Did Richard have any cell phones?
Yes.
What did he have?
He had a work BlackBerry, and he had a personal. He had just upgraded to the iPhone 6 at the time.
Woo.
It had just come out.
Style. Wow.
And where did he, on his person or in general, where would Richard keep those phones?
In his junk.
He usually had his BlackBerry clipped on his belt.
Oh my God, the belt clip phones.
That was a BlackBerry.
Well, I wouldn't be surprised if the government still required BlackBerries. I don't know how it was in Australia, but most law firms that I'm aware, like bigger law firms in the States and the UK would require BlackBerry because of the security they have.
Yeah, that was standard issue.
Like way past the time when like anyone else on earth were using BlackBerries.
Yeah.
I mean, to the point where people used to be like, I got a BlackBerry, motherfucker. And then they used them to the point of I'm like, I got a BlackBerry. It's got a track wheel on it though.
And then he normally was wearing jeans, or I guess it doesn't matter because they had pockets. So he'd always clip his iPhone
to stop doing
on
that.
The pocket right there on the outside.
Okay. And would he sometimes carry it too?
He would carry it, like if he got into a car or whatever, he usually take it out because it would bother him because it's so long.
I know I'm about to ask you for numbers, but I feel like you're a numbers person. Do you remember Richard's work cell phone number?
His work cell phone was 202-603-1223.
Yeah, don't call the number.
Do you remember his personal cell phone number?
Oh my God, really?
356
Oh!
17.
Don't read the
14.
screen either.
Do you know if he had a home phone?
Yes.
Okay,
Oh my
do you know that
Christ!
number?
Oh, for God's sake.
944-4670.
I give up.
And when you would communicate with Richard after hours, which of those numbers would you use?
His personal, the 356.
You got to call heaven now to get a hold of him, so don't.
Was Richard pretty routine in his daily activities that you saw?
Yes.
If this woman
How
puts her
would you
coat
describe
on
him
and
if you
takes
were
it
to
off
describe
one more
his
time.
routine?
He was, to me, OCD.
Okay. OCD people do not live in a hoarder house like that. I'm sorry. They may be set in their ways, but I'm calling BS on the OCD. I wish I was drunk. Member for 5 months. How are we, lads and lasses? Hope it scrolled up. Where to go here? Where do you go? Hope all is well. Big 5 month cheers. Hey, cheers. Enjoyed every minute of it. Me too. Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
Well, we've got it paused. What's the word that we're supposed to use to try and get around the YouTube censorship for like naked or nude?
Well, it doesn't really matter now because you said both of them, huh?
I didn't mean on stream. I mean like for titles and stuff.
I don't know.
Okay.
Naked.
Screw it. Naked man appears in court over emotional support cat will do.
Naked with 2 Ks. NEKKID. Or NEKKED. Naked. That's what I use. Buck naked. Undressed. How boring. Unclothed. Great. Now I got all this in my chat. Thanks, Hayden. Oh, Christ, I just closed the window. All right. Pause right there, everybody, for just a quick minute while I unfuck myself. This is a good time for Hayden to just say something while I concentrate on doing something else.
Yeah, sorry to derail it, people. I was trying to upload a short, and for the life of me, it's about to go 1:30 in the morning, and my brain just could not contemplate what the hell I was supposed to say for the title about a short about a man appearing in a court refusing to wear clothes because the police officers lost his emotional support cat. It did not end well.
I got the timestamp. Now I'm pulling this up. God dang it. I hate myself.
Wait, did you actually close the entire thing?
Yeah, I completely shut the tab. It's gone. Like it's weird. There's like 1 millimeter of space that I shouldn't touch to close this stupid tab, and there's like this 1 millimeter strip, for the flow of the show at the bottom. No matter where I click, I always just seem to click on those 2 exact spots where I'm not supposed to. Hell. All right, hang on, people. There's only like 10 minutes left, so. Damn it. Grumble. Hartung. There, Hartung. No, what the? Hartung. There we are. Witchcraft triple murder trial. That's what we're looking for. Tammy Duncan is on the stand. And we're at the 23:54 mark. Scrolling. Keep those
donkeys rolling right.
Those donkeys rolling. That'll work. Whatever. Rhymes.
It works.
2351. That's close enough. Sigh. All right. Let's put the screen back up, shall we?
Barney, I don't think that he's ready for that kind of shortcut trickery with his computer.
What was that? Control Shift T to reopen a closed tab in your browser. No, it's not reopening that. It's getting it to the proper timestamp is the problem, which I've done now. Because to get the proper timestamp, I had to go into my YouTube studio, open up the stream, go to the end of the stream, then back up to where I could see the timestamp. Then I had to bring up the old stream. Then I had to go into where it is and then find the timestamp. So yeah, that's not the problem. Here we go. More chesticles. Here we go.
And that would be, I guess, when you saw him mostly during work hours.
Correct.
Okay. Now, when was the last day that you saw Richard Smith at work?
I saw him on July the 28th of 2015.
And on that particular day, did you and Richard go to lunch?
Yes.
Was David Flat with you?
Yes.
And where did you guys go?
We went to Sonny's there on Navy Boulevard.
Do you by chance remember what Richard ate?
He would have had a hamburger or a barbecue pulled pork sandwich and French fries.
This dude must have been a creature of habit for both of his friends know what he was eating.
What he ate when you guys went to lunch?
Yes.
And do you remember what kind of fries Sonny's had?
They have the crinkly cut fries.
What the relevance?
After lunch,
Contents of his
did
stomach,
you
maybe?
and Richard and David go back to work?
Yes.
Do you know about what time
Maybe they found a
Richard
chip
left
inside his dismembered body?
on July 28th?
Or maybe she's just hungry.
We both left at the same time, me and Richard, and it was about 6:35
p.m.?
Yes. Sorry.
Okay. Did you have any reason to believe that Richard was going anywhere but straight home?
No.
And do you know if he typically made any phone calls as a habit or as a routine on his way home?
He would always call his mom or the house every day.
Aw.
Now, after you and Richard left around 6:35 p.m., did you see him after that?
Yes.
Okay. And just what was that circumstance?
Well, normally when we left, I was in front of him or he'd be in front of me. But as we'd go through, he'd speed a lot and he was gone.
Well, let me ask you this. Did you both typically drive home in the same direction?
Yes.
Okay.
We would go both Mobile Highway. And so I would turn off right before the foyer grounds and he would keep on going.
Okay. And do you know what street he would turn? Was it right from Mobile Highway?
From Mobile Highway, he would have gone on to Klondike.
Okay.
But that particular day, I actually was following him, and at the different lights, I was actually keeping up with him. So he was not in a hurry.
And when was the last time that you actually saw him in his Highlander?
When we got to Mobile Highway, just past Fairfield, where the Walmart is that John works, he got into the left-hand lane. I went into the right lane because I turned into that shopping center and went to Subway.
Okay. And do you remember approximately what time that was?
That would have been somewhere between 6:45 and 6:50.
And why do you remember that particular time?
Because I have a receipt at 7:00 where I went to Subway and there was nobody there. So I got my salad, got back in the car and left.
Okay. And was that the last time that you actually saw Richard?
Yes.
Did you speak with, text with, communicate with Richard at any point later than 6:45 or 6:50 p.m. on the 28th?
Yes, I texted him about 8:30 to hope you had a good day, and he was going to be off the next day. So,
did Richard ever respond to your text?
No.
Was that usual or unusual?
That was unusual.
Would he normally text you back when you would text him?
Yes.
And back to numbers. What was your cell phone number back then?
850-380-9489.
They're not even trying.
So that was
No, but if you
Tuesday,
notice, you did say,
28th.
what was your number back
The next
then?
day, Wednesday, the 29th.
Yeah.
So
Yes.
presumably they've all been
Oh, sorry.
changed
Sorry.
before the trial.
Were you aware that Richard was scheduled to be off work?
He had told me Tuesday night that he was taking John to a doctor's appointment the next day.
Okay. So no surprise when he didn't come to work on Wednesday.
No.
All right. Now, did you have any contact with Richard on Wednesday, July 29th?
On Wednesday, about 2:30, I had texted him because we were having some issues with work. And then about an hour later, I texted him about 3:30 on another issue that was going on, and I got no response.
And again, was that usual or unusual?
That was unusual.
So that was Wednesday, the 29th. On Thursday, the 30th, did Richard show up for work?
No.
And in all the years that you had known him, had he ever not shown up from work without some explanation?
No.
So let's go to Thursday.
Oh God, no!
the
Subway,
30th.
Subway
Did you have any
salads are the
contact with
worst.
Richard on Thursday, the
Now,
30th.
I had a
texted
Subway
him about
sandwich for
7
lunch
o'clock,
yesterday.
wanting to know if
but
he
it's-
wanted anything from McDonald's, and I got no response.
Friday, July 31st. Did you have any contact with Richard Smith?
that
On
used to
about
be my
7:15
anniversary
that
date.
morning, I'd stopped and got McDonald's and told him if he was going to be in, I had something for him, but I got no response.
He didn't want the McDonald's. He wanted that other burger place where he went every day.
David Flatt told the jury earlier that the lanyards or credentials that you guys wear to get in your building, that you're not supposed to wear those on your days off. Is that correct?
That is correct.
Okay.
Why
now, what
would you
do
wear
with
your
yours,
work
like when you went
lanyard
to
on your
lunch
day
or
off
if you went to the
anyway?
bank or ran an errand?
What he would do?
No, you.
Me, I would either wrap it up, take it off, wrap it up, and keep it in my car, or put it in my purse.
Okay. And what would Richard typically do?
Richard would either put it down in a shirt or a pocket, or he would make sure his credentials were upside, backwards to where it was just the back side of the credential, so you could not see what it is.
Okay. Did Richard wear different clothes every day to work?
Yes.
Okay, interesting question.
Now on Tuesdays.
Okay,
you
that
aware
actually is
that
an interesting question. I guess they're going to go with these are the clothes he was wearing on Tuesday, and these are the clothes that he was found with on Friday. They were the same, so therefore he was murdered on Tuesday. I guess
An interesting way of establishing the timeline, but yeah, okay, I can see it.
Like I said, I must do all my streams from the neck down. Hey, you'll get money. Probably a lot of mine too, but anyway, just saying.
Old Hartung would go to Richard's house.
Yes.
And on Tuesdays,
I'll explode. Never
how
mind.
did Richard
Forget it.
seem about going home?
He was usually hesitant.
Would he stay late?
Yes, he'd usually be 6, 7 o'clock before he'd go home.
And would you sometimes stay with him?
Yes.
After Richard Smith left work on Tuesday, July 28th, 2015, did you ever have any contact with him again?
No.
Well, we went over to the defendant, and he channeled him, and he had a seance.
Were you aware on Friday the 31st that Hal McCord was going to Richard's house to check on him?
Yes.
And did Hal actually, I guess, text you
One
or
of the few
contact
cases
you
where the
about
deceased can
getting,
identify the killer.
a contact of Richard's?
Yes.
Okay. And did you give Hal McCord a contact?
Yes.
Who was
I'm
that?
gonna laugh
It
so
was
hard
his
if we
older
actually do
brother,
see a Ouija board in
which
court.
I knew him as Wayne, but Donald Hartung.
Well, we saw one on the table.
And where did you get? Excuse me.
COVID.
Where
This
did,
was 2020.
did you get Donald
Where are the
Hartung's
masks?
information?
From Richard's dad's obituary that was back in January of 2012.
So it wasn't something you got from work.
No.
Thank you, ma'am. Those are all my questions.
All right. You ready for the hot and heavy cross-examination?
Heavy, yes. Hot, not so much.
How dare you push Natalie Wisco out of the way like that, dude?
How dare you besmirch Natalie like that?
And congratulations to Natalie Wisco, who got
Ms. Duncan.
engaged.
Yes.
I'm going to ask you some very brief questions.
Okay.
Do you
and
think
have
I have
spoken
enough
before.
hair?
Do you recall?
Yes.
And I'm going to go over some of
My
the
face
things
looks like a
that
bulldog.
we talked about, if I could. You and Richard were close friends.
Yes.
But even though you're close friends, you never went to his house.
That is correct.
And did you ever meet his mother other than at his father's funeral?
No.
Did you ever meet John other than at his father's funeral?
I didn't meet him, but I saw him off and on at Walmart on Mobile Highway.
But Richard never took you to meet John.
No.
And you never met my client, Mr. Hartung, other than at the funeral for Mr. Smith,
Correct.
Richard's father. Now, you indicated that
He's starting to look more like Herman Munster to me. like
Richard
Fred Gwynn.
would work late on Tuesday nights. Is that correct?
Correct.
Now, the truth of the matter is Richard cooked for his mother and brother John every night, didn't he?
No, every Tuesday.
Yes.
Every night, really?
And the only night he didn't have to cook for them was on Tuesday night when my
Wait.
client Donald cooked.
Okay, wait. All right, I misheard. All right, I thought he said Donald cooked for them every night. Sorry, there we go. Richard cooked every night. Donald cooked on Tuesdays. Poor bastard.
For Mrs. Smith and John, correct?
Yes.
Flux, you're blessed
And he'd
enough to
also
stop.
leave food for Richard.
Yes.
So that was one night that he worked late when he didn't have to go home and cook. Is that correct?
He would stay a little bit later on Wednesday because John was not working.
Okay. And then on Wednesday night, he also stayed late because John wasn't working.
Correct.
And in fact, John didn't work either Tuesday or Wednesday, which were the two nights that Richard would stay late at work.
Correct.
And would you usually stay late at work with him on Tuesday and Wednesday night?
Yes.
I'm with you, Alan.
So Richard was able to
I
stay
am
late Tuesdays
Dracula.
and Wednesdays and able to catch up on work.
That is correct.
And he couldn't stay late the other nights because he had to pick John up at work.
Correct.
Now, was Richard an Alabama football fan?
Yes.
And would he watch football with Donald?
I really don't know. I mean, if Donald was off on the days they had football games, maybe.
You talked about that Richard would sometimes get aggravated with Donald because they'd watch Alabama football games and Donald wanted to talk while Richard wanted to watch the game.
Yes.
And I think you said that when they would watch TV together, Richard would sometimes get aggravated because Donald would talk and Richard didn't want to talk. He just wanted to watch TV.
Correct.
Sounds like me. Just leave me alone. Let me watch TV.
I don't have anything further.
Any redirect?
You said earlier that Richard on Tuesdays would leave around 6 or 7. Is that right?
Correct.
Okay. You said he stayed late on Wednesdays too. How late was late on Wednesday?
Usually on Wednesday, he'd stay probably about 5 o'clock.
Okay. Thank you, ma'am.
May I give one bit of redirect?
Yes.
And on Wednesday, he had to cook for his mom and John Wednesday night because Donald wasn't there. Isn't that correct?
Correct.
Thank you.
You right.
Oh,
Hey, you
just
got
in
it.
time. Just in time. we got it. Just in time. We got through another week of the Donald Hartung trial, and we got more witchcraft stuff than we could possibly imagine, like almost a stereotypical like amount of witchcraft stuff. Like if you were trying to make someone look like they were into witchcraft, amount of witchcraft stuff. We had it all, right down to the damn broomstick. We had witchcraft stuff. Holy cow. Dang. Well, we'll do more of this next Thursday, folks. That's all we got today. Let's find out where we should send people. Don't anybody leave. We've only got a few people here anyway. We've only got 242 people here. So don't go anywhere just yet. I'm going to see where we can send you. Most likely Nick Starro, because he's the only one that streamed this late at night. Oh, we've got a Dave Neal. Bachelor Clayton accuser caught lying on phone call. Breaking. That's where we're going to go. Hang on. Let's do that. Let me hurry and get over to Dave Neal. We get some Thompson twins, some tonsil twins update. Sorry, Thompson twins. The 80s. I apologize to the 80s. All right, let's redirect. Dave Neal, where are you, brother man? There's a lot going on here, but I don't see Dave. Oh no. Dave Neal, comedian. Oh my Lord, can we not go to Dave Neal? Huh.
Might not have full redirect permissions on.
Yep, he does not have redirect privileges. Well, sorry, Dave Neal. You don't get people going to you. So I guess we all go to the SCOTUS Live, the Supreme Court Live on weird that Kurt's not doing it. We're going to Nick Starro. We got Judge Alex Manning. Lots of hell. Let's go see Law Talk with Mike. He's got a sovereign citizen shit thing going. That's where we're going to go. Mods, thank you so much for being here and doing your moddy best this evening. Great to have the chill stream with you. Thank you so much for the chat being here. Before we go, Ozzy needs to explain why you need to give him $3,900 immediately.
Guys, I'll be perfectly honest. I suck at grifting myself. I would love to make this trip, A, because it sounds like things won't be happening later on in the year, and B, because it would be significantly cheaper for me to attend Vegas than it will be to go to Houston in August. So if at any point anybody wants to see me get plastered out of my mind or anything like that, feel free to let me know. But in the meantime, Law News and Laughter at 8 p.m. Eastern, and I'm still working on the name for the secondary show. I think at the moment we're looking at the What the Fuck Wake Up at 8 a.m. Eastern. But in the meantime, guys, I'm going to go to bed because
Dobby is free.
I just have to warn you, if you're in Vegas, you're probably not going to be able to buy like 14 lightsabers.
yes, I'm acutely aware that I won't be buying any memorabilia to bring back this time.
Oh, it'll be bringing back memorabilia, just not 14 lightsabers.
It was 3. Plus the swords, I know.
All right.
And the suitcase.
All right, everybody. Mods, thanks. Chat, thank you so much for the support, the super chats, the monthly memberships, and the monthly membership chats. I appreciate it all. And thank you for just spending some time with us with this weird trial that somehow got weirder today. Like we were expecting the witchcraft stuff, but we weren't expecting that much witchcraft stuff. It was almost a comical amount of witchcraft stuff. All right. With that, let's go see what's happening over with Law Talk with Mike. We'll see you tomorrow for whatever we do. Probably just a legal news roundup of sorts. Ozzy, thank you so much for putting up with us tonight, for hanging out here until 2 a.m.-ish.
Always a pleasure, but
Fuck this shit, I'm out. Fuck this shit, I'm out. No thanks. Don't mind me.
And for me and the Donald Hartungs of the world, good night. We'll see you tomorrow.